Hello, TCL fans, and welcome to Week 3, Day 1 of TCL Season 8. I am here with my friend Calbert, and we were not the casters that were supposed to show up tonight, although I was supposed to be helping. Unfortunately, our casters have ditched us, and so this is a last-minute show put together. And who else would you want but Abarn and, of course, our friend Calbert? How are you, Cal? Oh, sorry, Cal. I had you deafened. How are you doing, Cal? Yeah, I think it will be. We have both the Snake Oil Salesman and No Reply. Snake Oil Salesman showing a couple tough games to start out the season, and obviously can't hear. Oh, you should be able to hear Cal now. Yeah, I think we. Oh, wait, hold on. I think whoever was. Yeah. Um, Sorry, folks. Give me like 1 second. I think whoever was most recently doing the production might have done some stuff here. All right, we're back. Cal, say something.
Good to be back. Hopefully the audio is all fixed.
It is. Yep, we're in. Yeah, weird. That they must not have heard the music then. It's too bad. It was good music, but yeah, I think whoever did the cast last time, they messed with our audio settings, and I don't like when people do that. So anyway, after all that, Calbert, once again, how are you doing? Because they didn't get to hear you.
I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited for tonight's game, especially with all the trash talk that was happening in the TCL Discord. It's always fun when people get in and get involved. So really excited for tonight's game. Hopefully that kind of sparks the fire there that's been happening, especially in the top lane. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, lots of toxic top laners in TCL. It's amazing how that works. In fact, really, I think the position is wherever Cal goes is full of toxic people. I think you just have a way of getting it out of people.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. When I played AD carry, it wasn't like this. I kept my mouth shut. I knew my spot. I wish Luciv would follow the same mentality, but here we are. This is my fourth season, and just loving it every bit of the way. Love the new people in here.
I
Big
tell
fan.
you, I tell you what. I don't think there was a person on the planet who thought that you were as loud of in individual as you were like one season in. That was
No, I think
definitely.
it was actually after my second season when people really started to not like me. Once I got out of the AD carry role and got to play a role I enjoyed, I started talking trash more and calling people out, and yeah, it's just more fun that way, right? It's more fun when you stir the pot a little bit. So
Yeah, being a terrible person is also something I enjoy. We enjoy
yeah,
that together.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's really what sparks this great friendship.
Mm-hmm. That and alcohol and all
Other poor
kinds of
decisions.
yeah. Just all.
Some of which I'm sure you did in Vegas. So,
It's a bunch
um,
yes, I did just get home from Vegas.
but anyway, we are jumping into pick ban phase, and it's good to see that there's some respect going to S or NR's bot lane with the Draven Leona. So we've seen that Draven pop off for Jerks a lot. So I'm glad to see that it's getting banned.
He picks it every time he
Because
gets an opportunity.
Absolutely, put some respect on it. If you're not gonna play like Caitlyn and somebody else that can punish it, then yeah, ban it, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Although I do wonder. Well, this is tough. This is really tough because Jerks in Bush League are a very aggressive. I don't know if we can call them the best bot lane, but they're good. They're very good. They're very aggressive. And Boobly and Imel Greg are not only newcomers to TCL, but they're also the lowest ranked bot lane. And so, you want the only thing about the Leona ban, and like I look at that, you can do the same thing on Nautilus as you can do on Leona. You can do the same thing as Galio as you do on Leona. So I think that's a wasted ban. I don't think you're getting anything out of Leona that you're not getting out of those other champions. And so I wonder, like, what else could you have used instead of the Draven? And by the way, for Leona, and for anyone watching the stream, by the way, you get to still see the old champion image for Skarner, which is kind of cool. So enjoy that.
Nice. Yeah. The one thing I'm interested in is Bush League on anyone except for Nautilus and Leona, because when he was on my team last season, it was gross to watch. So I'm curious if this Rakan is going to be clean, or if this is going to feel like, hey, I'm not too comfortable on this. So
he really doesn't play much else.
No.
You know, I mean, he actually, I will say he plays a legitimate Zyra, which is a little bit surprising, but his Zyra is actually passable. But I think it's the kind of thing that the TCL folks don't want to see that, right? There's like 3 supports you're allowed to play in TCL, and there's like 3 junglers you're allowed to play in TCL unless you're like Diamond. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and we see the Zac coming in. I think, you know, I don't know if anybody did the math on this, but Zac is like one of the most picked junglers in TCL. He's either picked ban almost every game. I think it's something crazy, like 70% of games. And it's interesting that it didn't go first round, but I guess they want to prioritize that Nautilus, which makes sense. We see Sandy coming in with the Syndra pick, which isn't surprising. You know, Sandy's clean. It also opens up Wild to pick later on.
Yeah, it does. It's interesting to see from him because there's so many Sandy-like champions. Of course, we did see 3 mid bans, which that's obviously tough for Sandy, but I don't know if I believe in this pick style, to be completely honest. This whole thing where it's like we're gonna pick basically 3 tanks and we're gonna, you know, pick the like control mage and like some scaling AD. Like, you know, I don't know. Season 6 called. They want your champ select back, and like that's what we see from a lot of CCL teams. And there's no adaptation to like find why your team is uniquely strong. By the way, my brain's not working. I didn't sleep at all in Vegas, so you're just gonna have to deal with me like fumbling through my words. But,
dude, that's fine. 2 minutes ago I was just feeding my kid, so I'm here. I'm here for it, man.
I would say your responsibility level was really far above mine. That's a good thing.
This weekend?
In general. Yeah, you're feeding your
that's
kid.
Good.
And...
Yeah, one of us has got to hold it down.
See, ain't gonna be me, my brother.
I hope we see a Mordekaiser ban here, because Mordekaiser is one of those champions where it's like, I think we've said this, I don't know if we've said it so publicly, but you can hide a bad top laner on Mordekaiser, you can hide an average top laner on Mordekaiser, and they look good.
Agreed. So, by the way, we didn't give any energy to the Spurg Belveth, but Spurg Belveth.
He's been playing a lot of it, actually. You know, it's funny because like you look at his match history and you see like 10, maybe more Skarner games, and then it's like, oh, there's a little Belveth sprinkled in there, and then, you know, he's got his classic Jarvan or Zac or whatever, but it's kind of the flavor of the month for him. So
do we want to talk about, we got an Urgot ban and a Jax ban, but no Mordekaiser ban, and I actually think that's a little bit strange.
I think they want him to pick it because then that team really kind of lacks the engage that they're looking for. They lack that front line. I mean, really what NR needs here is a tanky engage, right? Like a Abarn or
the Rakan can.
A Melf. Rakan's gonna. It's Bush League. He's gonna jump in and die immediately.
Yeah, that is true. But if your goal is like lots of skirmishes, I mean, I will say there obviously is a lot of big tanky stuff to get through. I don't like this at all. I really don't like this pick.
I love that Volibear pick.
He's good at it. In this team comp, I don't like it.
I had the unfortunate experience of playing against Lyle Walt on his Volibear, and I played Tom Kench, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so easy. Like, this is my main.
And then he actually like heals even more than.
He solo killed me like 3 times in the first. I don't know.
Was he doing the new build?
Yeah, he was doing the Rod of Ages. Yeah, and I'm just like, Rod of Ages, Blades of whatever. I'm like,
well, they get Flicker Blade, and then you take Jack of all trades.
And then all of a sudden, he just murders me. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what am I doing? Right? We ended up winning that scrim, by the way. But
it's a scrim you're talking. Yeah. I guess
it was a scrim.
I hate this. It's just no, this is so bad. At least I will give this one thing, which is that I guess the Shen can ult the Rakan, and they can like double engage together because Shen tends to need something to get him in.
I don't know where this draft came from. I really don't like it from NR. I like SOS is better, but I don't know. I guess Sandy's Aurelion Soul was banned. I just wish there was like a Victor or a Zero was banned too. Never mind.
No, I don't mind Syndra. I don't mind Syndra. In theory, Syndra's a really good setup for the Zac. Probably better than most. Again, I think Snake Oil Salesmen by far have the draft diff, and it's only because I think No Reply trolled this draft. I don't think you have anything. I really do like the Rakan pick. I think the Lucian's going to look really good with it. I don't really know where Ziggs is supposed to fit in with that. I don't know where Bel'Veth is supposed to sit in with that. And then my problem with top lane is that I think Sir Aaron's just going to get slapped around. So, like...
100%. I've played Shen against Volibear, and it's not fun.
Right.
And anytime that Volibear or Shen leaves the lane, he doesn't have much time because Volibear's push is so quick. He's got to get back, otherwise he's going to lose his whole top side.
Correct, and that's the thing is I think when people look at draft, like it was the same thing when we picked the Vayne last week. People look like, oh well, like I don't know how that's going to go in a fight, and it's like when you talk about what team comp won, the draft, you can't just say like, oh, who's going to do best in a 5 versus 5 fight. Like League is so much bigger than that. You know what I mean? And like you actually have to look at the lane dynamics and the counters, and like if that. Exactly as you said, like, sure, okay, maybe the Shen can do a big engage with the Bel'Veth, but if he's lost all of his towers because that top lane is just unplayable, and like, the Bel'Veth doesn't get to do anything early to help him, then, like,
he's 3 levels behind and under-farmed, it's like, great, you have a better team fight, but, Volibear has 4 items and he's 1v4ing your team.
Correct. Well, and for the record, I actually think the better team fight still goes to Snake Oil. I don't know what No Reply is trying to do with the team comp here. I don't think that Shen works as the dive that you need it to like play along with the Rakan. I think you need something that's gonna be able to go in like a Camille or something like that. I think would have been completely juicy. Crazy to see that wasn't banned or picked by either teams, which that's wild to me. I think. I mean, listen, Snake Oil 0-1, No Reply 0-2, No Reply 1-1. This game might be Snake Oil's first step back towards getting back, and
I love that you mentioned that because, our team, we love talking about, like scenarios, who wins, who loses, and Snake Oil Salesman winning here really throws a wrench in it because, we beat Snake Oil Salesman, we lost to NR, and then NR lost to a team that we beat 3-0 in scrims, and we're just like, what is going on? So if NR loses here, it kind of throws the seeding off a little bit from, I think, what everyone expected after watching week 1.
Well, and also, like, those early weeks, everyone knows, it's not that they mean nothing, and, like, the win's the win, and you want to get towards the seeding, and you certainly don't want to be in last place, especially for everyone tuning in. That doesn't know this, the bottom team for the first time in TCL history will actually be removed from playoffs. So there's something there, right? Those games are important, but they're not that important. And we've seen people who go and they have a couple terrible first games and they're able to put together, and then you see the people who are very strong and they just like kind of expect that they're going to keep winning and they lose the will to keep practicing, whatever it is, right? And those teams end up not making it far. So. For sure, nothing really matters yet, and anything can go in any direction at this point.
Absolutely, and as we're getting into game here, talking to Snake Oil Salesman, I got 2 buddies on that team. We talked about their engage, and we talked about how they just kind of walked in and died. And, here I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a 5-point from them. Just like, hey, every week we've tried to go in and invade. And it looks like we're going to see NR go in and look for something. And it looks like they're going to be spotted, though, from Sandy. Maybe not. Boobly's dangling.
Oh, Boobly.
Boobly with the flash. I mean, good flash by him to get out, but Sandy needs to get to the lane quicker so he sees them walk into that bush.
Yeah, he sure does, and that's really unfortunate. Your Jinx being the one to get gone on at that point is not what you want.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Spurg's hanging out. Spurg's going to see Boobly again, and Bushly could have flashed that. It looks like they're going to get the kill anyway.
Boobly.
Jinx is going to
Barrier. Will the ignite tick down?
Aaron's going to take
one more. He gets.
And the last tick. Okay, so Rakan did flash ignite.
Yes.
They all used for that. Flash ignite. Spurg flashed. Looks like Boobly flash barrier, and that's it.
I do have to wonder. I do have to wonder if the Jinx should have held on to barrier there. Just give the kill because it's going to the support.
I mean, you already don't have Flash. I mean, is barrier really going to be the thing that saves your life against a Recon Lucian? I don't know.
Genuinely, yeah, I think so. Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I think if Spirit goes down there now, I mean, you're just, you know, you're adding kindling to the fire at this point.
is Wolf start a thing, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
For anyone that has AoE, you want to start a multi-camp jungle or multi-unit jungle. So like Zach W, Nocturne, just about everybody. You know, Karthus is like somebody that would start a buff.
And what changed with the way the jungle items work that you can go leashless now?
I don't know if it's necessarily anything with the jungle items. I think it's just how important it is to get level 2. I think it was the XP buff. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I only play Karthus jungle. But basically you get more XP as the jungler now, so you get level 2 off of a... I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I'd also like to talk about how Ziggs is just an idiotic champion right now. The champ has always been like giga broken and no one realized it because he's so boring to play.
Yeah. Yep. And here we're seeing that massive combo from Lyle where it does half your HP if you don't move out of the way. And it's just one of those things with PTA that, you know, once you proc PTA, you auto.
Oh, the flash is in! He's in! Oh, will drop down. Almost dead for Sir Aaron.
And if Lyle gets that into turret, he should stop the back there. It looks like Spurg's going to come up and put a band-aid on that lane.
Gank coming in mid. We've seen the elastic slingshot. It will hit. The Distraction Strikes a little bit through. Sandy needs a little bit more damage on this. Pain Pekko looking like he's going to be able to get away. He's holding on to the flash.
He just gets to walk out.
Yeah, it just gets to walk out.
Good job on him for holding that. Realizing, hey, there's not a lot of damage here. I can just walk out.
I think I would have instant flash. So yeah, I agree.
I think I would have too, right? Because now it's like, oh, I don't have like lane priority. I don't have pressure. But he's got those biscuits. He's got heal pots ticking. He should be fine to stick around, right? We're going to see a TP back from Sir Aaron to come back and catch that XP. He's going to be down in XP, down in farm. We see Spurg up top coming to mid. Maybe looking for a gank here.
I don't think there's going to be anything here. He just shows. He's like,
Rick's looking bot.
He is looking bot. Notably, there is going to be a ward put down. It's a fantastic ward by Jerks. Unfortunately, Tiny Rick walks right through it, too. So they know exactly where he's at.
We're just going to take a roundabout mid, it looks like, and look for Sandy here. Sandy can just push him away, so I don't think he's too worried about it.
Oh, we got the fight top lane right here, and the dash coming out by Sir Aaron. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah. I feel like this is what we talked about.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, Sir Aaron's not that top laner, just stop. He's going to be the one who's going to be like, hey, you know, it was a fluke. I'm going to go in for round 2.
Trust me, I know everything about...
Round 2 is going to be just like round 1. I mean... Yeah. But this is what SOS needs, right? I mean, they prioritize jungle and top lane. They need a lot out of that, right? You need a lot out of your top laner when he's your first... I guess technically he was the second round pick, but you know he goes in the first 6 picks. You need him to perform.
I do like, by the way, old Greg and Bloobly standing up on this. A lot of times when you're like the low level, you know, gold players, when you're against like obviously a much higher ranked bot lane, you just kind of play back. You play really safe because you just don't want to end, and like they will take advantage of that. But Boobly and old Greg knowing when it's time to walk up and actually zone them off of the wave. It doesn't lead to anything. It's just the way that people posture in lane. You can sort of see or feel their confidence right there.
Right, and you know we see Jerks kind of low on mana, and they're kind of punishing that, right? They're playing far up. I don't know if they have vision on where Spurg is right now, but it seems like they might, right? Because they're kind of playing aggressive. I don't think Lyle cares where Spurg is. Lyle's got that lane on lock right now.
Yeah, he honestly 2v1s it if he shows up. I mean, it's just this volley bear is a threat.
It's a tough position to be in. He's got cooldown boots already, so that means that you know his W's coming up faster. His stun's gonna be up faster, so those combos are just coming out quicker.
Yeah,
a little bit of skirmishing around Grubs here. I think Grubs is a priority here for SOS. Having Lyle as a split pusher, I feel like it really matters. And then it also helps late game too for Jinx, right? Because Jinx gets a couple autos in, and then it's like, holy crap, why is my turret at half health? big priority for him.
And by the way,
my
for those that are new to this build on the Volibear, what you're going to see is he's going to be trying to get 10 stats as fast as possible because he's got that Jack of all trades new rune. And the faster he does that, the faster he gets a little bit of, I believe, adaptive force and ability haste. If I'm correct there. Oh, we've got a dive here. He finds him under tower. Alt will come down. Sir Aaron needs one more hit. He's taking a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Another solo kill picked up.
Another solo kill, and Spurg starts the dragon. I mean, they do have bot priority, right? They're pushing him into turret. They're able to walk off of it, and then microscopic Rick coming in and picking up grubs. Good pickup by Rick. I think that's a really confident play by him, where he's like, hey, we don't see Spurg. I don't know if they know that he's on Dragon, but they know he's not on Grubs, so they're going to take it. We're going to see Dragon go over to NR, and it looks like Grubs go to SOS.
Mr. Tiny Rick, that's right.
Yep. It's nice, like when you're, I would say, a lower ranked jungler and you can 1-for-1 an objective.
Correct, at the same time, right, you'll see these people where they don't actually notice that there's someone on the camp, and then they will go like, they'll be finishing camps, and suddenly you're still contesting against the other jungler as he's taking the other one. So yes, I completely agree with that, and that's something I think Tiny Rick has, really improved his game sense for those of you that have watched him season after season. Where he really used to kind of be that silver jungler, and it's like that. I don't know that I'd put a rank on him because I don't think he really plays ranked at all, to be honest, or enough for it to matter. But he's a good teammate to have.
Yeah, does rank matter when you're one of the coolest guys in the league?
True.
Not really, right?
True.
He's never been on my team, but heard he's a super Chad, heard he's an awesome guy. Looks like we're going to get another skirmish up top. Aaron's going to dive out. And we just see more stats go on that Volibear here. I think right now he's got 5 at least. So he's got the 10 adaptive force, which always helps.
Yeah, and I think he gets
10, he gets 25.
Does he get is it like he gets like a, I want to say he gets like a zeal, and then he gets the whatever the frozen heart component is. I want to say that's like the quickest way to do it.
Another dive from Lyle. It looks like he's going to walk out. Sir Aaron's going to walk up and get hit. Once Lyle has his ult up, he's able to just probably
6 seconds away, by the way. The ult is 6 seconds away. Oh, but he doesn't even care.
He doesn't need it. He's just gonna hit him under turret. And it's not just top lane that this affects right now. It's everybody. So
Spurg looking like he wants a piece of it, but the ult will be here for Lyle Wald. He's actually gonna be able to take the fight. Spurg does go down.
He is gonna take him down.
Huge look from Spurg.
And Sir Aaron ends up getting an assist off of that as well. But Lyle did just get a bunch of gold. He finished his Route of Ages.
Oh, he did.
And that's tough.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
Finishing that early, and then we also
here gets the Shen with Tabbies, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Tabbies isn't that bad, right? I mean,
no, it's not bad. It's just when it's all you have against a rod that's already begun stacking. Oh, the flash could have come through Rick. Oh, that was a miscommunication right there. We'll be able to come with the ult. Boobly was not ready for it.
Yeah, Boobly was not. Boobly's just casually farming under turret, whistling.
It's sad because it was actually a solid mechanical play. We have another fight in the top lane. Oh, going again. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sir Aaron's down to below half health, and at some point you just need to realize, like, I need to stay under my turret, because now when you're a third health under your own turret, as soon as he gets ult up, he can kill you.
Well, that was, and I've played on enough teams with Sir Aaron here to be able to tell you that he'll go take fight outside of tower range for no reason. There's no point, right? If the wave's pushing towards you, right, lose the CS, correct.
Yeah, I mean, would you rather lose all the CS and die, or just lose the CS, right?
Right.
And Volibear is one of those characters where it's really hard to freeze the wave, because as soon as you hit 5 autos, you're chain lightning. So
he has to push, correct. He has to push.
Yep.
Yeah, this matchup's just going to get worse and worse. And again, the Shen is not someone, when the items come in, is not someone who's going to be able to contest in that side lane whatsoever. And it's like, because this volley starts with the Rod of Ages, like, obviously it still looks like it's playable. It won't be. Give it like 5 minutes. This will be a completely unplayable lane, and the volley will be at the inhibitor.
And here it looks like they're gonna go and move to secure grubs. It looks like Sandy's backing.
Pain Pecco in on this. Lyle Wall, I don't believe the ult is up. It's still a little bit more time. Okay, no, we did have it. Ult will go, but huge damage from Pain Pecco right in the center of that ultimate. Spurg right there, able to pick up his own ult. Brings the damage in onto Tiny Rick.
Rick is gonna go
Cell Division on. Pain Pecco takes a lot of damage from the Unleashed power, but
ult by Boobly
could be enough. Yeah, Boobly does find him, not Bully. Pain Pecco ends up getting that last hit out of the Cell Division, and we got a fun little fight going on. Can't believe I just called him Bully.
You know, I feel like, you know, Lyle is big, and it's one of those things where it just kind of gets in your head, right? Like, anytime you get a lead, you're like, ah, big, right? And then you go in, and it's like, ooh. Spurg does a bunch of damage, right? Spurg's got Kraken Slayer already. And
yeah.
If you don't save any CC, he's just gonna claw at the ground and murder you, right? Isn't that what the ability is? Isn't it called Ground Claw or something?
On the Velvet?
The Velvet. Yeah.
No one plays that champion, honestly.
Can somebody check that?
I got it.
I think it's Ground Claw.
What are you looking at?
The thing where she claws at the ground and kills people or something.
Oh, Royal Maelstrom.
Yep. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, we were really close.
Close on the ability name. It
Ooh,
looks like
Spurg. Ultimate will go down. Here. Yep, Old Greg finds him. Dredgeline will hit. EQ from Syndra.
He is gonna get
yep.
Gen ult to prolong this fight.
Not quite enough.
Killed through it. So, Volley looks like he's taking the grubs. It says, hey, I'm not waiting for you, Rick. I'm gonna take him myself. Go down and contest that dragon. So, stand pretty healthy.
100%. That was a great look going and finding their Boobly with the reaction time. I actually don't know if that was necessary.
Yeah, see, you know, I talked about him looking uncomfortable, and it just seemed like an awkward flash there. I don't know if they had what I would call lethal there, right? I don't know if there's any Hearthstone players.
What's you gotta tell us the reference?
Oh, that's just what you called that in Hearthstone. Anytime that you had enough damage to kill somebody.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I got lethal this round.
Wait, push behind enemy lines right here. All right, the TP's gonna come through. Bush League or Boobly behind everybody. He's gonna get caught out. Oh my God. That was like a targeted precision strike right there. Oh my God.
But like we said, right, they got 6 grubs. You see Lyle up there smacking the turret. It looks like they're going to get Dragon here, but they're probably going to lose first turret for it.
Yeah, that was
pushing up, getting some damage under turret.
I will say that was TP, so I don't actually know if that was the best move right there, because of course they're going to lose that top lane tower.
Yeah, and it leaves...
and it was like a 20 CS difference at least, yeah.
Yeah, and it leaves Shelly up here too.
Yeah, so they're going to get 20 CS, they're going to get a tower for a kill that probably could have happened, and now Shen is behind a good 25 CS against this Volley Bear, who's just going to keep getting scarier. And
Jinx didn't have flash either. That's the thing, is Jinx's flash was down for that.
Oh, I actually didn't realize that. That's a good point.
She was dead to rights, regardless.
Speaking of someone who could have been dead to rights, if the Rakan ult is up, so they could have actually gone after that. But I know that they didn't know where Spurg was, who's hidden in the back of his jungle right now.
Right. Yeah, they didn't know where Rick was, and they didn't know where Nautilus was, so they could have got that turret and probably killed Boobly if they had that vision, but
yeah, no, 100%.
Did not.
But you know, I don't know. You're in a position where it's like you've got the Lucian. You know, you've got, obviously the Ziggs is going to be strong throughout the whole game, but like this Lucian is not going to scale particularly hard. Last thing you want to go do is go way too hard on something, give up a kill you're not supposed to give, and suddenly the Jinx is like back in the game, right?
Right.
That'd be, not that she's not, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think SOS's bot lane's doing great. They're, even in CS, right? They're down, they're actually 2-2 combined. So not the worst, and gold's just about even. The only thing that's troublesome is for SOS is that there's 2 dragons down already.
Yeah,
it's not a position you want to be in.
I am gonna say, and it's probably gonna speak to Bush League's Rakan not being incredibly potent or just not well practiced. The fact that the Jinx is going to be coming out with an even level of farm to the bot lane that you pick to be aggressive. You know, as you said, that's big, man. And while they might be down on gold due to some other reasons that I think are not, obviously both towers are taken, farm is even, and kills are even. Sometimes you just gain gold from other sources. But yeah, man, if I'm Boobly and I'm Old Greg and I'm coming out of this lane, I'm like, okay, mission success. Like the Jinx from this point on is literally more useful than the Lucian can be. So that's a big one.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially unless we're talking about picks. It looks like we got a skirmish mid. Somebody jumped back. They do end up spotting 4 mid, and then we have Volleybird top. It's important to note that he's got Herald as well, so it's one of those things where if Shen ults another lane and doesn't have TP up, he takes probably 2 turrets with that.
Yeah, he actually has to stay there. Volleybird rotating down though. It looks like he wants to try a fight. I'm surprised he's not just sitting top and trying to kill the Shen over and over, and even going that on himself. Good damage on Old Greg here, but Jerks might be a little bit far forward. Lyle Walt is going to find him. I know he's going to want to go in. The elastic slingshot is on. He does get caught. Huge play by Tiny Rick, able to find both of those. Bush League going in, taking the death for his carry. Great roam here by Lyle.
Yeah, and an awesome engage by Tiny Rick. I mean, you see the slingshot get charged up from out of vision, right? And then all of a sudden this Zac flies in. He hits his abilities. He interrupts the Rakan knockup. And he just does everything he's supposed to do, and it's nice to see that Lyle can just come in and engage a fight like that. Sandy doing damage, Rick jumping in again.
Like they're just gonna take everything. Okay, second charge does get hit right there. A lot of damage. Turret number 2 will go down. The Shen still has nothing to ult onto. A little bit of damage back onto Old Greg, but a great force push from Sandy Snake to keep everyone off of his team, and they're gonna take 2 towers and just walk away for free.
Yep. And you see that damage from the Jinx too in rocket form. She's just shooting a couple rockets as she walks out. Does a lot of damage, right? I mean, you don't really have a true tank besides Shen, so that damage adds up.
She's got a lot of gold in her pocket too right here. So
yep.
some expenditure going on right now.
Absolutely. Yep, and we see Old Greg 1-0-1. We love to see that. He's playing really well. That Ziggs 2-0 with good farm, and the Syndra with really good farm as well. This game's just kind of catapulting into the late game, right?
It is. The Ziggs could end up being scary. Not sure what to think about that, though, because obviously the Ziggs does really well by planting a bunch of stuff into the backline here, but there's just so much engaged that I might actually get caught on. Obviously, very curious to see what happens with the Ziggs, but if anyone's going to be able to cut through the Volibear, the Zac, and the Nautilus, 3 sort of hyper HP tanks, it's going to have to be the Ziggs, because it's not going to be very many other people.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is you play to your win con, let Ziggs poke them down, let them make a bad engage, right, use the Shen ult to flip it, and then win like that, but they're kind of at that point where it's like, hey, that Volibear is really big. We may have the better team comp, but that Volibear's huge. We can't really do anything yet.
Well, right, and I'm a little concerned. Obviously here, No Reply was able to get those first 2 dragons here, but at this point in time, again, I don't see how it's possible that any 5v5 team fight is going to go in the way of No Reply at this point. I think they don't have the tools on the team to get in and disrupt and be in the middle of the team and sort of enable this large Jinx damage the same way that SOS does. So you can split the map, but the problem is that, well, okay, I say all this. This was a questionable rotate by a couple people from SOS who forgot that they could just counter push mid at this point. This is actually a horrific macro mistake.
Yeah, they got spot tier 1. But it took longer than expected because Ziggs was able just to clear the wave with his ult, and then they lost tier 1.
Then they stayed, yeah. That's okay. Well, that's macro is important too, y'all.
Rick might have an engage angle here.
Yeah,
they're trying to catch him walking out. It seems like they're a little upset here. If they do get a pick here, this is an easy Baron for them.
Ooh, Mr. Rick wants to find him. Is he going to go over the wall? Lyle Lyle flashes over
go on Baron here. Yeah, I don't know. Unhinged. Absolutely unhinged.
It's so unhinged. A lot of damage on the Sararin, who's on the side here. Getting poked out from the middle of the dragon. Jerks is on the other side. Jerks 1 versus 4 right here. They got to find it. The ult's going to come down. Jerks is by himself. It's a huge misplay. Misposition. Thought he had a little bit of damage, but of course Lyle's just going to go in on him.
Yeah, but Rick went in as well. So Rick jumped in on 4, and Jerks was in on getting dogpiled by 4. A misplay with a misplay, right?
What is going on? I don't understand.
It's the fiesta, and we're having fun doing it.
By the way, that is the second time that Rick sort of had a miscommunication, wanting to go in while his team was wanting to do something else. I'm curious if that's a thing that we're going to keep seeing from him, because obviously it's happened a couple times. Lyle Walt finding Sir Aaron. Big damage right here. Pain Pecco taking all of the ultimate from Sandy Snake. 6 orbs, but damage from Spurg back on and will take Sandy Snake. Lyle Walt in the middle of 3, able to see if he can find 1 return kill. A little more healing, not going to find his way through. That's going to be a 1 for 2 right now.
Yeah.
Why are you there? I don't know, but he was there.
One thing that really hurts that Volibear's ability to survive is the heal cut that Sir Aaron got. So the W does count as an auto attack, right? So it puts that heal cut on him.
It does. And I gotta tell you, given what we wanted to see out of the Volibear, expecting a little more at this point in the game, and I think the ability to split the team up is important. And so the more that we see the grouping, the more that I just question what the plan is. Putting Volley in that side lane where he's only 1v1 against the Shen, always going to the other side of the map, that is, in my opinion, the way that you want to play this pick right here. You don't want to just be grouping and trying to force every fight, because it's not necessary. You've already got someone on your team who's able to do that, and you can sort of be that person who TPs in and potentially find a flank. So, yeah, this is not the cleanest gameplay, but we have an even game, and I gotta say, I do appreciate some even TCL games, so maybe they're doing it for content.
And it's a pretty low kill game too. You know, you see 7 out of 8 KP.
Oh, stun right here onto Pain Pecco. So much damage.
Tons of damage.
But
just pushes him off of it.
Not quite enough.
Sandy's getting there with the damage.
He is, yeah. Obviously, he's got to get, if we look at his stacks, he's got 91. I believe at 120 is when he will have, if I recall. I actually don't play that champion, but I believe it's 120.
Didn't even know she stacked, so you're ahead of me.
They changed that a few years ago. Now it's your abilities. It used to be when they reached max rank. Now it's when you get a certain amount of stacks, and you get stacks by like hitting
Cannon stuff, right?
Cannons. I believe leveling up, and I believe. Oh, we got the flash here onto the Volibear. Volibear does have the tools to get out of this.
And
Yeah, okay.
Walked out. Questionable play by Bush, but he's trying to make a play. You know, they do kill Volibear there. They probably get the Baron, so...
They do. I just can't imagine thinking that a Volibear with an ultimate ability is someone you're going to be able to get on top of, especially, maybe, honestly, maybe if you had a team comp like SOS, but you don't. You have one person that has the predominant CC on your team, and then you got a bunch of all little small boys, so, yeah. I like the aggression, but just I don't think it was the time for it.
Misplaced aggression, I think is what we call that. And we do see
it's
Lyle
better than
here
being passive.
get some turret damage. He is going to walk out. It looks like they might kill onto him.
They're going to lose a dragon to this, though.
That dragon.
Yeah, that is Lyle doing his job. Very effective play by Lyle. Even if he dies here. They are gripping on Baron. I think Lyle's going to be able to disrupt this at least for long enough. Yeah, because look, they're going on. They're not even starting the Baron. Lyle played that very well.
Yep. He did his job, right? Draw attention, keep him off the objectives, secure another objective while you're doing it.
Oh, Lyle just trying to get in the middle of 3 people, wanting to completely disrupt everything. He's got the ult to try and get out towards his team. Little bit too far. I think he thought one of the backs went through. Unfortunately, it did not. Now it looks like SOS potentially in a position, maybe not to get... Well, I don't think so. I mean, Lyle's down.
No, sorry. I think NR's in a position here to force this Baron.
Yeah, you start this Baron and you don't even think about not doing it. And listen, if you lose it, you lose it. But right now, you go for this Baron. You take the opportunity that was given to you. And if you have to, you turn onto the fight. This is a 5 versus 4. You've got Pain Pecco on the side. Microscopic Rick in the middle of 4 people right here. A lot of damage from Sandy. Oh, so much, but it was another. The Shen ult save Jerks right there. Just a little bit more health. He's got to go pick up the fruits in Bush League in the back line, trying to disrupt as much as possible. Is it going to mean anything, though? Jerks is not able to be in the middle of the fight, and Boobly collecting 2 kills right here. Going to go on the 3rd. Imo Greg flashes in, is able to get the ult onto Pain Pecco, but really it just prevents Pain from getting into the fight and allows for the rest of the team to pick up some kills. Huge counterplay here by SOS.
I think Rick had a really good engage there. He pinned Spurg in the pit. He CC'd Jerks in there as well. He took some damage from Baron. And I think they'd really just used Baron damage there to help out on those two. And then it kind of just looked like Boobly was just untouched in the back.
Yeah, he was. And I will say, Sandy Snake right there, even though Jerks did not go down, he was out of the fight right there because he had to use his shield. Then the Shen had to ult him, and this is also he just didn't die at the very end. And then because he was up here, the Shen got teleported up here while the rest of the team was getting killed down here. So obviously you want the kill on the enemy ADC, but the fact that they had to use so much, take the Shen out of the fight, and of course the Lucian just didn't get to be in the fight was really huge for SOS there.
Yeah, and to be honest, I love Rick playing aggressive. I just hope that he's telling his team like, hey, I'm playing aggressive, right? Because it seems like there's some confusion between him. Sometimes Lyle too, where Lyle's like, I'm gonna go in, and then everyone's like, we're not there. And it's leading to a couple of these not being as clean.
Lyle in on the fight. Yeah, okay, never mind. He's gonna walk their separate ways. You were saying
I'd like to see them, group around Baron. I think they have a stronger team fight right now.
Yeah, they do. Well, that's the thing. SOS is going to win all these team fights if they just play it correctly. Use the vision advantage. And actually, I like this. I like what we're seeing here. Tiny Rick able to jump in on whoever he wants at this point. The Zig is looking like a juicy target, but so is Jerks. But so much damage in on Sir Aaron on the front line. Microscopic Rick able to zone Jerks off of the back, but everyone's split damage. No one's actually picked who the target is. So finally, the Jinx is going to go down. Spurg does his job. A great, fantastic play by Spurg. Now Tiny Rick in the front line going down. Cell Division will hit, so it's not going to be everything, but a huge ult. Jerks is down. So much damage from Sandy Snake. He has done his job here. Lyle Walt now trying to find Sir Aaron in the backline, who has so many defensive tools, but he will get just enough. Bush League over the wall. Bush League has gone just a little bit too far, but Payne Pecco able to help save his teammate. But it's going to be a 2-for-2 because Spurg did such a great job on the backline there.
Yeah, and it's really tough too because you see old Greg trying his best to peel for him, but all those dashes, the tenacity. So Spurg's got 2 tenacity items, able to just kind of shut off that CC and just walk through him and then murder him, right? And you just see that from Jinx just getting kind of wolfed down there by Spurg. He
did, yeah, really good. And that's the thing, is that Spurg playing the Bel'Veth correctly, and unfortunately when you've got old Greg in the front line doing tank things, sometimes you forget about your ADC, and that happened right there. Unfortunately, Boobly, and I'm going to assume that barrier was not up in time. I'm certainly going to hope that for his sake. But yeah, he's just going to go down that fight. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to do literally anything else. And that's why it was that 2-for-2 at the end of the day.
Right. And here we see some vision control. They do need vision in that bush, right? Bush League getting that right now. But yeah, Sandy did a ton of damage there. And the thing is, they couldn't see him. Sandy was just setting up for a good ult, casting in that bush. Walking out of the bush, walking back in, and kind of just was ignored for most of that fight while he just sat next to their backline.
We're looking at a potential Baron Dragon trade right here. Interesting idea. The Baron's going to be started. They are aware, but of course we've got 2 bot lanes. Sir Aaron will be able to find out. Spurg does make the call that he wants to finish this. I don't think they realize you got to stay on this, my brethren. You got to cinder it with TP. Oh, they just lose the dragon for free. What?
Yeah.
What is it with
Jinx too?
What is it with people in TCL so afraid to take Barons? I don't understand that.
Yeah, you have enough girth in your front line too with Rick and Lyle that you just tank that fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very, very disappointed with that. Yeah, you need to stay on that. The Syndra is able to get there. You have a 3-item Syndra. Obviously, the damage can come through from the drinks, but yeah, if you see that they're on the dragon right there and you've got no vision, start it. And worst case, like, you get vision of the jungler coming up and you stop it when it's a 3rd HP. You're allowed to do that. Like, there's nothing in League that says when you start a Baron, you are required to finish it. And I think that's the thing in TCL is everyone assumes, like, we're flipping this. Like, no, we're just getting them to come to us. We're making a forcing move right here. And, yeah, Tiny Rick right here with a pretty large engage. But unfortunately, when you get that first stretching strike...
They're looking for, and they're just gonna walk out.
They are. Lyle Walt always looking really, really good on the flank. But, yeah, boy, This is tough. This is tough.
Yeah, and Spirit said it in chat. Grouping around Baron is rough into Ziggs, and I get that. And this isn't the ideal Baron spawn either for that, where there's one opening, one narrow opening that you have to be confined in. So
Spurg just wants to run this minion wave down. He doesn't have any vision. You are able to go in on the Spurg. Tiny Rick is caught out. Yeah, it would have been nice.
I don't think they realize that yet. He's just gonna dash away. Fine. Sandy's gonna go for a stun.
So looking at blue team vision right here. Taunt goes onto Sandy Snake. Oh, huge job pushing away. But Tiny Rick is in on the back line. He decides he's going on all of the boys that are threatening his carry. The taunt will come down onto Boobly right here, who is getting a little bit threatened, but we want to see the damage. Huge engage, by the way, by Tiny Rick and Lyle Walt. Lyle now helping kill Serrera on the back line so that the Jinx can go after the rest of the fight right here, but unfortunately Tiny Rick with no cell division is going to get caught out as he goes into the enemy team. That is, right here, Spurg finds two people, does want to go on it, and of course Old Greg is going to die for his teammate, but ultimately Boobly will go down. Lots of damage from Jerks right there, and this fight has now gone a completely different way. Lyle Walt wants to find something. He does not have the ultimate ability though, so he's probably just going to die for this. The whole team comes up, lots of damage, needs some heal right here to keep himself alive.
And it's important to note that Sandy TP'd top here. He saw his team lose fight. He realized I can get something here.
And he's actually not taking it. Well, that could have been I guess he thought he was being gone on, but yeah, he needed to take that tower. I think that would have been a small consolation prize. Unfortunately, he backs off the tower and just leaves when no one's coming after him.
Yeah, but he's got an enemy blue buff. I mean, what's more important than that?
I will note he has no vision, obviously, of the Baron. But I don't know. I feel like you have to assume that they're going to go for that Baron and probably one person is going to come back for you. I don't know. Maybe given the information, that was actually the right play. I just have zero respect for anyone who plays in TCL, so I just assume they're all going to stay on the Baron and you can actually get that tower. But I don't know. Maybe
the tower actually went down, which is important to know. Maybe Sandy's got a bigger brain than we give him credit for. He saw the minions up there and he's like, you know what? I don't even need to stick around. Minions are gonna do my dirty work. So. Well,
listen, I get one of these per stream, so really, who the fuck am I? Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, good look from Sandy there. I take back everything I say. I love you, pal. Still beat your team, but yeah, I love you personally.
Yeah, and it's tough when Sandy's just better than you in mid lane. But anyway, back to this.
That's right.
Can we bring up the gold on the junglers? I just want to see what Spurg is cooking with. So he's got about 3,000.
Ooh, Lyle Walt getting caught on his engage, and he's gonna go get one shot, 100-0 completely right here. Bush League at the front line. He's gonna try to get out. The Shen ult will come in to save Bush League, and ult is there. So much damage, double taunt. That's gonna be 2-3 people dead right there, and you can push this in and at least get an inhibitor here, maybe a dragon afterwards, and I think that will be the play. Potentially with the Baron an option to end. It's going to see how aggressive they're feeling. Maybe worth trying to go here right here. Oh my god, Spurg on the backline in the middle of everybody, but this might actually be a huge int for Spurg. Able to pick up a couple juice boxes, heal himself just enough so he's not going to get taken down. This will be 2 inhibitors going down. No reply with the Baron, and we're going to see if they want to keep going. There's still 3 people dead. I think you have to stay and you have to end that, but they decided it's a little bit too risky.
Soul. Yeah, they have Soul up right now, so they're just, playing safe. They realize, they could dive onto the Jinx and kill the Jinx. They're not going to push it here.
That's true. I will give credit to any team, as long as it comes from a place of confidence in your next fight. Like when we played last week, we ran into something relatively similar. We were playing, and obviously we had the Rise against the Seraphine and the Sona, which scale really hard, but sometimes in those team comps, you just get into a place where you're like, listen, I'm confident in my team making the right decision in the next fight. I don't believe that they have anything that's going to best us. Let's just go back, make the safe move, not take too many risks, because we know that we can beat him in a pure 5v5. And if that's the reason you make the decision, then I support it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice too when the whole team can just be like, okay, guys, let's back off, right? Like, you're not forcing it.
Okay, we got a little bit of pick right here. Lyle getting caught out once again. So much damage from Jerks. Able to find the dash right there to get so much of it onto Lyle Wall. And right here, Tiny Rick is going to go down for the sins of his top laner. Cell Division going to get completely wasted. And they've got 2 inhibitors down. Supers jumping into the base right now. They're going to be coming down, peeling back the onion of Summoner's Rift layer by layer. And they're in the bot lane, and this is a 5v3, and I don't know if there's anything you can do as SOS, but if there's something to be done, it has to be done right now. Spurg, very, very, very deep, but damage reduction prevents him. Oh my god, Jerks! Jerks with the double Q right there to finish both people off. Pain Pekka with a ton of damage onto the Ziggs. Everyone's going to go down. That is so much freaking damage for everybody on No Reply, and they're just going to play and finish very, very strong, and we're going to go on to game 2 of this matchup. All right, folks, I am back. Mr. Calbert is on dad duty. He is putting his sweet little child to bed. Once again, everyone congratulate Calbert in chat. He just had his second kid about a month or 2 ago, I think. Pretty adorable. But yeah, he's doing dad duty, and of course, dad duty, one of the few things that goes before TCL, national security, not so much dad duty, we'll give it to it. So we are back here in front of everybody, and we had an amazing matchup here between Snake Oil Salesman and No Reply. No Reply able to dominantly, even take that even game. In the middle of that game, find a couple very, very large picks, stifle the engage from Tiny Rick, who obviously looked like a really good Zac, but not good enough to pull together the victory for his team. So we're going to be going into game 2 right here, in Snake Oil Salesman, who I thought they had a really good team comp. Unfortunately, that didn't... thanks, King Clover. Appreciate you, buddy. I thought they had a great team comp, and they kind of had the things that they wanted to do with it, but unfortunately, we saw Lyle Walt playing really aggressively in front of his team. We saw a lot of Tiny Rick going in 1 versus 5 with absolutely nothing that he's able to do. And it looked like there was a lot of communication lacking, and I think that communication lacking is going to be the reason that we either see a success or a failure. So anyway, we're going to be here. We're going to be going into game very, very, very quickly. Tell our friends that we're ready here in Champions Select. And yeah, this is going to be a good game too, and I'm hoping that Sandy Snake and his team are able to come back from this. They've got talented players. We watched Boobly and Imel Greg come out of lane looking very, very, very strong right there, especially against Jerks and Bush League, who are probably one of the most, I would say, aggressive bot lanes that we see here in TCL. They're playing a lot of Draven, a lot of Leona. That time they were on the Lucian and the Rakan, and they actually came out pretty much even on CS. Both had taken turrets. The gold was a little bit split, but I think that probably had to do with like who shared on the turret, like the turret share gold or something like that. It was about a 600 gold difference. But if you're Boobly and you're Imold Greg and you're sort of the lowest ranked players right here, pretty much in TCL, because they're both like low gold, and I think even old Greg might be high silver. Yeah, against Jerks, who is the like masters level, the masters level AD Bush League, who routinely sits around like high emerald diamond 4 as a support player. That's big, and it does lead me to wonder why are Jerks in Bush League not taking advantage of the advantage that they picked for. Honestly, that game, it didn't end up mattering because, of course, they were able to come together. Spurg was absolutely huge on the Bel'Veth, diving into the Jinx fight after fight after fight, and ultimately able to bring it home for the team. So Spurg looked great. The Shen pick did not get abused as much as we thought it would by the Volibear top. We're going to be looking at this next champ select, wondering whether or not that Volibear is going to get picked again. Pain Pekko obviously looked really, really good on the Ziggs. Jerk's looking really good on the Lucian. And then Bush League, is generally able to play any of those engaged supports very, very well. So we're going to be going into champ select here very, very shortly, and we'll see what these teams decide that they want to do. All right, we are in here. This is my first solo cast of TCL history. I'm sure it won't last long, but we're going to enjoy it while we are here. And yeah, we have loaded into Champ Select. The first bands will come down. The Skarner, once again for Snake Oil Salesmen, they want Spurg to have nothing to do with that pick. That pick is a very, very strong pick. For those of you that have been watching Spurg, he has been playing the crap out of it over and over and over. The Skarner looks so good. Can actually go top lane. Fun fact, I was reading some of the Riot stuff. They said that in China, Skarner almost exclusively plays top. They don't know why. It just is what it is. That's where people on that server are going. They like to go top with it. So in theory, it could actually be a flex pick right here, but we do know that that probably would have been going towards the Spurg. Rudy, we're good. Calbert will be coming back. The baby's just got to go to sleep. Yeah, we'll be fine. I'm going to hold on to a spot here, though. Yeah, it's just Calbert in the room with us. Calbert is wearing his camo. That's why you can't see him. He is cosplaying John Cena right here. The Azir ban, something I completely disagree with. Not a fan of that Azir ban. I think it is too easy to get in the way of what that Azir wants to do, but we are going to see 3 bans coming in against Sandy Snake. The thing with Sandy, though, is he plays so many champions that I don't know that you can really pinch him the way that you think you want to, right? He can go back to one of these control mages. He can play the Orianna. He can play the Syndra. He can play the Victor really, really well. He's a fantastic Sylas player. You know, he could even go play Yone, which just got a buff depending on, you know, what he thinks he wants to do with it. And then, of course, we actually used to think of the Sandy-like champions as he used to play a lot of Vygar. He played some Zillion, and I think he even has played a little Tristana lately, if I looked at his match history correctly. So definitely a big champion pool, and while 2 of those champions are pretty strong, I just don't think it can justify that Azir ban and pretty much giving you know, Snake Oil Salesmen whatever they really want here. So we'll see how it goes out. The Leona, the Draven ban, once again, both sides have been chosen the same way. Oh yes, I will do the payout. Sorry, everybody. All right. NR took game 1. Make sure I got that right. Yes, they did. And enjoy your gamble points. Don't spend them all in one place. Someone who is smarter than me, maybe Jazz, if you could like go upload some dank stuff to our Twitch so that people can do more things with their channel points than just highlight, that would be fantastic. I think we need to get the emotes in here. I think we are able to do that. All of the TCL memes and emotes I think have to be in here, and all kinds of other things. You guys all know Twitch. I don't. I'm a boomer. We've got the Rammus right here against the Viego. Spurg picks the Viego, but Tiny Rick responds with the Rammus, which obviously is going to look really nice. The question is what can you pick against it now, knowing that that pick has been made right here, and we're going to see from R3 rather, the last pick in the first rotation, what that's going to be. The Jhin being hovered for Jerks, certainly not what we usually expect, but I don't think that he would want to play his Samira or some of those other really aggressive champions against that Rammus the same way. Pick something. Yeah, you pick the Jhin because the Jhin is going to do a fair bit of damage with that 4th shot, but with Jhin, even if you're attacking the Rammus, every time you attack the Rammus, you take flat damage. So it's not based on how much damage you did to him, it's just a flat amount of damage from that in the Thornmail. So the less times you attack, actually the less damage you take. And so, of course, Jhin looking like a pretty good ADC against that. Calbert is back with us. Mr. Cal.
It's your boy Calbert. I'm back.
You're back, baby. Calbert is here. How's the kiddo?
Good. He went down great. He's probably going to run down here in a minute because...
How old's the lad?
I have a 3-year-old and a 1-month-old. So.
I assumed you were putting down the 1-month-old. No?
No, the 3-year-old.
Got
yeah,
it.
the 1-month-old, he just sleeps.
Because he's just always sleeping.
Whenever.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair. Understood.
Oh, okay, jumping into draft, right? We see the Volibear band. That's good. Put some respect on it.
Yeah, Viber ban. Obviously, it's looked pretty good. I want to see Lyle on so many other picks, though. I had a conversation with him after week 1, and he was really opinionated on all the things he couldn't play, right? Because he felt like, hey, I have to fill a specific role for the team. I actually totally disagree, and I would love to see him on some stuff that look like Aurelia, look like Camille, things where you can get into the backline and be a huge carry and almost an assassination threat. I'm just not seeing the picks from him. And I think the fact that he's so unwilling to play certain champions, it tells me that there's a huge lack of confidence. So while the mechanics might be there, the confidence is not. And I really wish the confidence was there because obviously he's such a great player. The Gwen being hovered here by Sir Aaron, if he blinds Gwen, I'm going to be pretty impressed. Could look like a good pick, but obviously it really depends.
Thanks.
All right. Gwen has been blound. And Lyle Walt now has his choice of anything he wants to do, and he picks the Kale. Oh, that's awesome.
I like that. Big fan of that. Yeah, I don't know about that Gwen pick. Seems interesting to me, but it opens up Pekko to go an AD mid. I don't know if that's if he enjoys that or not, but
yeah, he plays a couple. Sandy Snake on his patented Jace. That's a champion I actually forgot to talk about, but he always looks really, really good on the Jace. I do like that pick, and yes, he's going to get his AD pick, but as you said, oh, not what I expected. Okay, Syndra being hovered. Galio was there. Yeah, the Galio would be a little weird against the Jace, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Okay. Bush League hovering his own Galio just to be silly. But right here, our boy Payne Pekko, a.k.a. Paris Baguette, as it shows on the stream, going to be locking in the Syndra here.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see something different out of his Syndra as opposed to Sandy's, but Sandy's really didn't provide that much pressure early game, and late game, I mean, yeah, it could get close to blowing somebody up, or sometimes it would catch out jerks, but it just didn't feel like there was enough damage coming from that.
No, I don't think so either. And I'm going to be questionable here. We have 4 damage picks here from No Reply, which I think is playable. I think it's totally playable. It's just obviously if you let the Kale get into a scaling rhythm here, you're going to be in a lot of trouble here. And there's not really a lot that can deal with that. So obviously Sir Aaron having to get completely huge, take that lead, use it to sort of beat up on Microscopic Rick. Obviously it's a huge pick against the Rammus, right? That works out. It's everything else that they're kind of on a clock in this game, I believe. And if they can't sort of put the aggression together that they had in last game, then maybe we're going to be going to game 3 here.
Yeah, and I mean, the Gwen pick, it better pop off, right? Like, that's one of those things where it's like, if you let the kill get ahead early, it's just going to spell disaster, right? And how long was that game? That game was 40 minutes or something? 45 minutes?
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty long. I don't remember what the exact number was.
I mean, at that point, Kale's going to be level, 16, 17, or 18 with 4 or 5 items. That's disaster.
100
for a team with no tank.
Yes, correct. It is a huge disaster, and and the question is now Spurg's going to want to gank it. I do believe it, right? Spurg is a very aggressive jungler. Sir Aaron does like to fight, so if they can get on top of him in the first probably 5, 6, 7, 8 levels, all right, might have a choice. But Lyle Walt, if anyone knows how to play this lane correctly and not completely in, I do think it's him. So I'm going to give him a little bit of that credit there. I think that if this is me, I'm saying SOS takes this and we're going to game 3.
Doesn't Kale play this like AD early on?
Why would you think that?
Because I thought in matchups that she loses, it's better to build AD because you get better stats. So like you'd go like Bork first, and then you would build.
Yeah, you have more ability to duel probably like level 6, level 7, because Bork's obviously such a strong item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I don't know. Like I said, I play top lane. I just don't play it well, so I have no idea how this matchup works.
100%. Yeah, I'm actually curious. That one's new to me because I'm not a big Kale player. That does sound reasonable and fair.
Sounds right?
Yeah.
Like it sounds like that might be right. And then I think Sundered Sky gives you the HP to duel, and it gives you sustain, and it just allows you to be present more to farm more, I want to say. And then from there, I think is where you start building like your AP, like Gnasher Tooth and what's that thing that gives you Omnivamp, Omniceptor or something like that. Terrible names.
What are you talking about? The Riftmaker?
Yeah.
That's the one. Omniceptor.
It sounds like that's
all right, Omniceptor. It does a few things. Yeah, Omniceptor.
I feel like my camera is like.
I'm gonna use that one now. Oh, there's the action shot. I like that.
Yeah, there's the money.
I like that.
Yeah, the bot lane, Jin Rakan, that's a really good setup for Spurg. Just being able to catch people out, the kind of gap closing, kill securing. I think Spurg has an opportunity to feast early, but then I think late game it gives Lyle an opportunity to deny Spurg with his ult. Doesn't always have to be on him, right? It could be on Boobly, it could be on Sandy, it could be on Rick. But either way, preventing Spurg from resetting, I think, is going to be really big in those mid to late game fights.
100%. So I got to redo all of the little fixes that I had to do in Streamlabs. Today I learned that Streamlabs actually does not save any changes you make until you quit. So if you crash, then yeah, you're kind of... Oh, invade here. Lyle Walt. Here's Lyle Walt's vision that we're looking at right here. We don't know what's going to happen.
We're going to have to see a flash engage here if they're going to go for it.
Bush League looking like he...
They don't have the follow-up, though. Spurg would have to start his stun. It's just not there. I mean, they're going to be able to get vision. Good on them. But that also means, okay, old Greg and Boobly are doing what they're supposed to. You go in, you get counter vision on the blue.
Sandy Snake pulling just a little bit of extra gold for himself. I'm really looking forward to watching this Jace.
Sandy's Jace is clean. I was always a fan of it. Like I said, he was my mid laner last season in TCL. He played it really well. It allowed our top laner to go AP, but he never did. And we would honestly just run down teams with it. So
yeah, it's something like he does like to play those divers pretty well. People think of Sandy and they think of him just as this sort of scaling mage player, but no, he actually plays the Yone really well. He plays the Jace really well. There's a whole lot of stuff that he does that I think fits those bills, and certainly really like to see that. Sir Aaron, and I'll give him credit right here, sort of knowing that he's able to take these types of trades. And yeah, we don't know what Kale is going to pick, but we are seeing the Doran's Blade, so that could be some type of indicator that you are correct about building AD here.
Yeah, I think you just get too many stats out of it. And one more thing I'll say about Sandy is, like, seeing him on the Jace, I'm hoping for more mid-game pressure. With Syndra, you kind of have that for the execute potential, but engage here from Bush League.
Good find on the level 2. Boobly is going to get the level 2, though, and they're actually going to counter engage on it. Great play by old Greg. Jerks not able to get enough on the Boobly. Now, you don't want your ADC to take the brunt of that, so I would say that is still a one trade here by no reply. But good to find the counter engage and at least match the damage, even if it's not on the person you wanted to match it with.
Right, and we see Spurg hovering top. You kind of called it out early. Spurg wants to get some pressure on, but Lyle's playing pretty safe.
Lyle's actually spacing this.
Playing this right.
He's not. Spurg, though, able to come in right here. Lyle a little too far forward right here. The flash is going to have to come through. And that's...
I don't know what that was.
Right, that's what you can look for. That's what you hope for. So, at least the kill is flashless.
And Spurg waited long enough, too, where Rick really couldn't get in and counter jungle him either. He waited long enough to where, Rick would have no idea where Spurg is. And was just forced to farm up top.
100%.
So good on Spurg for that, for waiting. Most junglers wouldn't do that. I feel like almost every jungler in this league would not sit there for 15 to 20 seconds and wait.
Well, right. I mean, it's going to be a huge win condition that this Kayle has trouble early in the game. You're going to have so much trouble if this Kayle gets to any point of the game where there's some kills and that she's actually useful. There's going to be a lot of trouble here. So for sure, if you're looking at the game state, you just say, it is my job right now to mitigate this Kayle getting somewhere. And even if what that means is that you can get your Gwen a little bit ahead, even if it doesn't put the Kayle incredibly far behind, but there's no flash, so that she sort of has to stay away and let the Gwen free farm, who, by the way, Gwen also scales incredibly well in this game, then I'd say you've done a good job as a jungler.
Yeah, absolutely. And, good wards by NR here. They spotted the Rammus on his 2 ganks, and kind of just not being effective early. Spurg's going to be able to full clear after getting that sword, that long sword, and he's just going to be able to clear back up the top and then have another gank set up top. So things are looking good for NR, I think, right now. I think as Rammus, right, you want to get a early lead on somebody. So they've denied that.
Yeah, No, they have denied that. They've done a really good job of this. The bot lane, actually, interestingly, right here, the Zeri will have a little bit of a farm lead here, and if they're able to push this wave, this next wave into tower quickly, yeah, they're not going to be able to. I think they're sort of slow playing this.
It.
Yeah, they are. Well, it depends what Boobly does right here, but the problem is the Jhin will be coming back with a big old Dirk, so I don't know that the freeze is actually as good of an idea as you think it is.
And now I think they're realizing that, hey, we shouldn't freeze this. We need to back two.
Right,
and
right.
A little too late. It's going to give NR the ability to freeze it.
It's actually, yeah, that's a big wave mistake right there.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And NR sees it too, which is interesting because they get to call that out with that ward where it's at.
And look, yeah, see, these guys know what they're doing here.
Well,
and he did take those kind of quickly. This will freeze. This will freeze.
Yeah, it will. They're taking their time. I mean, those were too early minion takes, but
yeah, that was very early for Bush. But as for the rest, it will properly freeze and push in. As you can see, the two melees are being targeted right here, and so that will be enough.
Syndra flashes down and TP, and we saw old Greg mid. I think we missed it, but it looked like a potential gank there. Lyle probably smells something going on here. He's gonna back.
Sorry, there's a couple people, aka TJ, who would love the fact that we're talking about wave management here.
Who's TJ? Was he
like
the
TJ?
second worst top laner that one season or something?
I think he was the worst one. He was like silver.
Worse than Music, right? I think Music solo killed him a couple times. So.
Well, Music solo killed everyone a couple times. That's kind of his shtick.
Not yet. Not
That's
everyone.
True. Not this season. That's right. Good point.
We are going to see Rick roam up top and kind of catch Spurg on these grubs. Spurg doesn't care. So Aaron's down there to fight.
Hey, what Rammus skin is this? This is kind of hype.
Mechano Rammus or something? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's got a...
Let's guess. Best guess is in chat.
Best guess?
Rammus skin that is?
Well, this isn't Hextech Rammus, is it?
He does look Hextech-y.
He looks pretty Hexy-techy. But I don't think Hextech has its own sound effects. I think they're too cheap. Even though it's the ones that like you get for playing for billions of hours. It's like the cheapest skins they've produced.
And it looks here like we're going to see
the gank is it. Oh, brilliant flash by Tiny Rick. Getting over right there, but Dirk's able to just flash out afterwards. Sandy Snake going over.
Not enough damage. Sandy's going to take a bunch of damage. And
they
used a lot there for that gank, and it was unsuccessful. They got 4 sums bot. They traded, what, 2 flashes?
Yeah, that's crazy, because the Rammus first flashes over right there, the W from Bush League. That in itself was a huge play. Rammus is back in on the fight, so maybe I'm talking a little bit too soon. And Tiny Rick is afraid of doing what he did last game where he went in and his team wasn't there. But yeah, anyway, that was a huge play. Obviously, then after that first play was made, Sandy goes and finds a really effective insect right there. So both the Rammus was huge, Sandy's little insect was huge, and yet they weren't able to kill one person.
Yeah, and I'm curious about this build top, the Tabby's build.
You mean the?
I don't know. Is Gwen when you're?
Oh, you mean here?
What?
You mean on the Gwen? Yeah.
Yeah. The Tabby's on the Gwen. I'm just confused about that because if you're a lane bully, don't you want to like press that? Wouldn't you want offensive? Like, wouldn't you want to do more damage, like with your chop and like push him out of lane? That's just what I think of. But
you would think. I mean, yeah, we have. Lyle Walt is one level up here. He already has his boots to just run away from Gwen. Unfortunately, yeah, your ability to abuse the Kale right here, it's already passed.
It's gone. Yeah, It's gone. Kale is now dominating the lane. We see Spurg coming up to provide some pressure. Spurg's gonna go in. It looks like. Nope, and he's not gonna get the ward either.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Lyle Walt doing a really effective job here. Actually has Spurg when there's no objectives top lane and the dragon is up. Spurg has gone top lane, has no gank opportunity. Unfortunately, he's going to lose the dragon for this. Yeah, it's a great time to take the dragon. And yeah, when the enemy jungler commits himself, you have to make a quick decision. And
Rick.
yeah, they're
Smite
getting gone on. The smite's going to go down, but are they going to lose anything for that? We got Microscopic Rick in the middle of the team here, but there is going to be a charm and all kinds of CC onto Boobly, who is able to get over the wall, but Spurg will get there too, will find the reset. He is going to try to go on to Sandy if possible. The W, good job from Spurg here. The auto attacks are onto it. There is actually a possibility of a fight here. Spurg, is he going to ult back out? Yep, he is. The ult's going to hit. He is able to find the damage, but he will also go down, and that will be a 1-for-1, but you got to respect him for going for it.
I love that from Spurg. You know, it's funny because there was this trash Platinum 2 jungler in this league that said, I'm the best jungler in this league, blah, blah, blah. You don't see plays out of that jungler like this. You know, I think Spurg really is, you know, on a different level as far as
That's right, that's right.
I think him and T, right? I think they really are the two best junglers in the league, and I think all that other talk from coach is just a meme, so... but great play by Spurg. I love to see it. I love to see it on Sandy too. When Sandy's like, he's not gonna do this. Oh, he did it. Right?
Yeah, he did it. He did it. But Sandy does just that little bit of CC he needed, a little bit of damage to find the kill. I don't know who that's good for. You're giving a kill to Sandy. Obviously, he's gonna lose the next wave. Maybe we call that net even. But yeah, right here the Syndra, because of this fair bit of farm difference and probably. Yeah, a few turret plates, is actually going to have a fairly sizable gold lead here. So the Syndra's looking good, and while Jace obviously is a little different than he used to be, people think of him as like an extremely hard-scaling early-game champion, but actually he does actually scale pretty decently into the late game as compared to like what he did like 5 years ago. So that has changed a little bit, but still, the Syndra is a huge late-game scaling mage, and so if you're able to get ahead of the Jace pretty fairly early, you're in good shape. You're happy about that.
Yep, and we're going to see Sprig here prioritize those grubs, hanging out topside. It's important to know that Syndra has that her first item done, which is just going to do a ton more damage early on. So those roams are actually going to be hurting from that Syndra.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be hurting really, really, really hard. We do have a next dragon here we're going to be expecting in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It is going to be a Fire Drake coming up. And our question here is going to be no reply. Are they going to be looking to push this little bit of a lead that they have here? Obviously, we've got Spurg on the top side wanting to find Lyle Walt. I don't think there's anything to be done here. I'm just concerned with the time that he's spending top. Like, right now, obviously, if he can get to these Grubuli, that is what he wants.
That's the win con.
It is, and you're wasting a lot of time on this.
The kill, though, that's the win con, right? You know, even if it's making them miss a couple CS, they're still going to get grubs here. Bush is going to come up and secure that. You know, Boobly's down about 14 a farm right now. Mid's down about, what is that? Is this almost the same, right? 17 a farm. So they're just pushing that lead, getting the extra grubs, and, you know, getting 6 grubs and then being in position to get a dragon doesn't sound like the worst.
He is. I did want to say, by the way, now that we realize... we probably should realize this during Champ Select. He is going to build AP. He kind of has to because he's got both, obviously, an ADC and an AD mid. So pretty much he really has no choice. He has to be building magic damage here. He is going to be the predominant magic damage threat. Obviously, the Rammus will do a little bit, but yeah, you're going to be looking for the late game magic damage once the armor is built from the Kale coming out. So yeah, just going to have to build the scale.
Yeah, but who's really going to build armor, right? I mean, on NR. I mean, if
you get a Zanya's, you get a Zanya. I mean, you can get a Zanya's from. Oh, we missed that. Sorry about that, folks. Pain Pecco has gone in on, and looks like Tiny Rick's just going to be coming down, barreling down mid lane. It's the favorite kind of Rammus play. Oh, and a huge actually gets the speed up right there from the Jace. And sometimes you just got to run it down mid.
Sometimes you just got to do it, right? And sometimes lane ganks are the best ganks, and I like this pressure from old Greg. Him roaming mid, providing that pressure. I think that's great for him, and that they're able to do that. And you know, Boobly's not down that much CS where it's really affecting him that much. So
no, he's really not. I love.
Lyle level 11.
Yeah,
big for his autos.
Yes, absolutely huge. He's got the waves going right there. Honestly, I didn't even put it together. The Rammus with the acceleration the acceleration gate is really cool. that kind of worked out really nicely. Like, I don't know if that made the difference, but just the fact that like Jace gets to accelerate his Rammus running through him is like kind of a hype idea. And yeah, we saw it there, and they found the gank onto Pain Peko, and right here, Jace, by the way, with the Ghost Blade, so going to be prioritizing for the ability to roam and impact the other lanes as we get into this mid lane. Yeah, interesting idea, but yeah, love to see the aggression from...
I love Sandy's positioning here because he's like, hey, we're doing Dragon. I can be down here and doing this. And they're going to secure a second Dragon, and I don't know if 6 Scrubs and Rift Herald is worth that.
Well, we do have the TP bot lane, going to get gone on as Tiny Rick shows up, and that TP was really just to save his friends. And honestly, fine timing. If I'm Sir Aaron, I'd probably just go be here. I think him staying here is actually kind of trolling. He does want to fight, so the ult's going to come down onto Old Greg. Got some damage here. Fair bit of damage. Big knock-up. The Jhin has opened up, but he's missed 2 shots in a row, so no damage has actually gone in on that. Meanwhile, the Zeri is doing just about everything. The Zeri will jump in. A lot of damage onto Bush League, who's now trying to jump out, goes into the middle of everybody, and Sandy able to clean up on Jerks with a big shutdown. Jerks with an enormous misplay on that. He missed 2 Jhin shots that were very critical. Frankly, I think if he just walks up and auto attacks like a regular ADC, he wins. But right here, Pain Peko getting a little bit caught behind enemy lines. The Kayle ult's gonna come through. Sandy Snake will live through all of it. Pain Peko has nothing left, and Microscopic Rick finally able to take down that last kill.
What a great play from the Snake Oil Salesman. I think they played that extremely well. You know, if there's one ADC I can talk about, I think it's Jhin. The only one that I can play. And when people are CC'd, you really don't have an excuse not to hit your ult.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know what happened there.
And I do want to throw a shout out to Boobly. I think he played that extremely well. He
agreed.
saw the 4-shot, he barriered it, he mitigated that kill. He dove in and cleaned up. Absolutely awesome to see that. See him be able to make a play, right? I mean, he's been on immobile ADCs this entire time, and he's like, hey, let me play a character where I can dive across half the bot lane and make a play. Like,
did Rift Herald just expire? Was Bush League holding it? Wait, I'm confused. I pick it up? Well, I saw a little purpley thing. But yeah, I thought I saw a little purpley thing. Oh, it can't expire. Okay.
It automatically.
Pain Peko getting gone on Microscopic Rick. Our boy, you know he loves to play super aggressive on that Rammus there. And Pain Peko has to flash out from a great engage from Tiny Rick.
Yeah, and I'd like to see this, but we're going to see Rammus's first completed item is Thornmail, it looks like, which is always exciting. That means he wants to fight. Yeah, he does want to fight, and obviously going to be going in on the Viego, but I got to tell you, there's not a lot of other great Thornmail targets, just to be completely honest. And sorry, we have seen Tiny Rick getting caught out, but is he caught out, or is Spurg and Bush League, who's way behind enemy lines, caught out? Sandy Snake trying to do a lot of damage. The Kayle has a lot going on. Bush League able to go over the wall, and no final hits to take him down. Meanwhile, Sir Aaron in on Kayle. I don't know if this is the fight you want, buddy. Although Tiny Rick going to take a whole lot of damage. Kayle all in the middle of 5 people. So much damage. And he takes down 3. That was a huge play from the Kayle. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is going to jump in and is going to take care of everything. That was a massive, massive play from Lyle Waltz. Uh-oh.
Hold on. That deserves rewatching. That deserves rewatching. That's an instant replay here. Lyle Walt looking like he's going to die in the middle of 5 people. He's going to ult himself right about here, and he's going to flash into 5 people by himself, and he's going to take down 3 and run out. That is a massive, massive play here from the Kayle, who goes and takes down. Oh, my God.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Whew.
Yeah, this is great. And I think a lot of people slept on Lyle, too, after the first 2 weeks where they ranked him. I think somebody ranked him lower than Sir Aaron, which is hilarious, right? And
yeah, that was okay. That was Spirit. Like, you can't expect anything with actual brain power to come from Spirit.
Yeah, we completely ignore those power rankings if they're from Spirit.
Well, listen, I think they're there to get the community talking. You know what I mean? I think really he's doing his job, if anything.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, what an amazing fight, and it's awesome to see Lyle on a champion that he can truly carry on, right? Like, yeah, the Volley Bear's cool, he can 1v1, he can split push, but like, man, that Kale, it's like, dude, this is fun.
That was like one of the nastiest plays in TCL history. I'm not gonna lie. That was like going in as Kale, jumping into 5 people, literally 1 versus 5. Your team is completely behind you in no range to do anything, and just knowing that you're gonna win the fight 1 versus 5. Like I don't know what else to say. That's man mode.
Yeah, I love to see that, right? Because like a lot of people sleep on that Kale ult damage. You know, a lot of people don't even know that Kale ult does damage.
It's just a lot of damage.
So it's cool to see him flash in and do that. He's going full man mode too. He's getting Rab Cap for his second item, which is, you know, pretty aggressive.
It is actually the meta. So Sandy Snake on the back end right here did not use the TP. He was just hanging out there bot lane. In theory, in flank position, Kale coming down and Gwen to match this fight. Honestly curious if the Gale's going to try to find the Gwen and prevent the Gwen from showing up. Yeah, it's looking like that could be the opportunity here. Yeah, just bowling him out, saying there's nothing you can do against me, man.
This is third drag for SOS too, so it's really important for NR here to prevent them from getting it for free. Right, you want to make them earn this one, because if they get this for free, then, you know, you talk about, yeah, we can trade. You know, if they don't get it, they could always trade one for Baron or something, and they're going to lose that opportunity.
Oh, right here, Bush League, go in, find a charm onto old Greg, but not really a lot of damage. Bush League runs around trying to find a lot of charms, and his team was not there to back him up. Notably, his AD carry was bot, so, yeah, I don't...
Yeah, you know, we talked about it game 1, and I don't think one game really changes the perspective of Bush League just not looking comfortable, right? I mean, he likes to play Leona where you can essentially engage and really not get punished for it. She's so tanky. Nautilus where you can catch people out, and then, you know, you play somebody like Rakan that he doesn't necessarily play too often, I would say, and, you know, goes in like that and just dies for it.
When I do like, we've seen 2 games in a row SOS has picked the Nautilus. Presumably they want to ban the Nautilus and use what we would call their 4th ban right there, or rather ban the Leona and then use what we would call their 4th ban on the Nautilus. It seems like that's what they're doing, but my question for Bush League is he's a very, very potent Galio player, so why are we picking Rakan when Galio is an option, and a very strong one at that, and your team is lacking frontline, by the way, that you've set up this team comp? So that's the question. We know the Galio is up because it was literally hovered as the last pick while Bush League was memeing. So yes, I am very questionable of that. I would have liked to see the Galio, but yeah, the Rakan's there, and unfortunately the Rakan can be blown up, and we're not seeing it at the best of its abilities right now.
What do you think about this top lane here, this Gwen pick, the blind Gwen?
You know, I mean, listen, I think Gwen is fine. I think it was picked so that there would be a counter against the Rammus, and for that, I actually think it's a good pick. You know, I think that when you're playing against a great top laner like Lyle, and Lyle is, and like, you know, we might have had some mental stuff, but he is a great top laner. The thing is they're going to feel really confident playing some stuff that they don't believe you are capable of punishing them for. And that's what he did here. He basically said, all right, like if you're going to do this, then the ability to punish, I'm sort of like skill checking you. You know what I mean? Like, all right, put your money where your mouth is, and he did, and he picks the Kale, and of course the Kale is going to scale really well. The Gwen is too, but in this matchup, as you're seeing right here, not going to really be able to fight, right? Well, okay, if you take a tower shot, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but she healed up, right? She's safe. You know, you get some good vision down, and yeah, Lyle's going to be a split pushing menace. He's going to hit 16 with 3 items, and he's going to be a problem.
He is. Spurg is bot. There is a Baron up. You do have an opportunity right here if you are Sandy's squad to start punishing.
Looks like they're clearing it.
Yeah, I think you just
they're
go
looking at it.
You go on this Baron.
They want it.
Go on this Baron. This is a call, and people make fun of Abarn Baron calls, but this is a call you'd make every time. Go on the Baron. Like, you know, if people in TCL are going to make these mistakes, they're going to go bot lane with the junglers. Well, they do it because they're not getting punished, right? So, like, it's part of your job is the moment you see them make these mistakes, you have to punish it. You have to do the thing that would otherwise prevent them from going. Right here, Lyle Walt doing a great job. He's going to keep taking these. Obviously, very effective split pusher. Yeah, we'll just get stronger here. And so they're always going to have to be pulling people bot lane. Yeah, if the jungler goes then you should be taking Baron, and you certainly should not be giving up all this vision right here. Great play. By the way, the Kale in the middle. Kale in base.
Back here.
Like, look, yeah. If you're SOS, just go. Let the Kale win the game for you. If they actually get on this fight, there's no reason to be playing this far back right here. The Baron going to get started. It looks like if they can all communicate on the same thing of what they want to do. Yeah, start the Baron.
I'm taking the base right now too. So.
Start the Baron. Yep, you start the Baron here, and you stay on the Baron. And you keep them from going in. Okay, so the TP is going to come through. Microscopic Wick, once again, way ahead of his team. Very tanky, though. Is he actually going to be able to go down? There's not going to be enough damage to punish him on this. So right here, the depth charge will go on to Spurg. Lyle wants a little bit of damage on it. Will be able to find it. Jerk's now getting run down. So much movement speed onto Bluebly, but the counter kill will come down from the Syndra. Unleashed Forest will be able to get the kill, at least for one coming back. Either way is an evisceration, and the Snake Oil Salesmen really are looking like they're going to want to turn this into a 3-game series.
And, this is really... I don't know who typed it. I forgot that person's name already. But somebody typed top gap. And it's really tough because it's like when your top laner dies in a 1v1, the only thing is you need them not to die. It ruins your entire gameplay around Baron if you're NR. Like, one thing, don't die. You die, you give the turret, you make your whole team back or try to find a back, then you get engaged on. It just causes chaos everywhere. And good job for Lyle, like realizing that, hey, I have flash up, I have my ult up, I'm gonna dive him under turret. Gwen, no flash, right? She ran Telly and Ghost, so just able to get Wolf down by Lyle there. So great play by him. And it just sucks for NR there because they kind of just got hung out to dry.
100%. 100, yes.
And like, playing top lane, there's like a few things you can't do, right? And like that's one of them. And the other one is like wasting your TP, right? Like TPing back to get 5 minions. And it's just, when you see a play like that, you're just like, man, Cloud Soul goes on to SOS tier. And really, they're just setting up the game to end it here. I'd like to see them force Baron, and I'd like to see them end off with that Baron. There's gonna be
Tiny Rick is so fast! He finds Sir Aaron. Sir Aaron's not going to have a lot of juice left. Oh my god!
Tiny Rick is so fast at Speed Up and Cloud Soul. My god, what did we just see?
Oh my god!
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, okay, well the top laner's down. They're going to take the Baron here. I will say this is a little scary. This is actually one of the times you might not call for it because Spurg is over the wall. He does have a gap closer to get on it. The potential steal is here, but not... Oh, wait! The steal happens! Oh!
Legendary.
Yep. Good.
Okay, so Tiny Rick does go in, and they want to stop these Barons, but at least one person is going to get out of this, and I think it's got to be Payne Pecco right here to walk away. Yeah.
They don't have minions either, so they're really not... I don't think they're ending off of this.
They're not.
They might try. They have 2 supers.
No, Sandy's going to go. He's just going to try to keep someone bot here so they have a much freer chance. So they are going to get an inhib from this. Was the Baron worth the inhib? Maybe.
I don't know. It just stalls out the game a little bit longer. You have a little bit longer to make a play and try to turn here. Maybe make an Elder play.
Yeah.
I guess what comes up in my mind is like, okay, like we win a fight at Elder, we 50-50 Elder and we get it. We're in this, but realistically it's just like, hey, I don't know.
That's one of those situations you really need to send the Nautilus and probably the Jace up above the Baron pit, and you need to keep the jungler out. That's one of those things where it's like, okay, you call in an even game where you get an advantage, you use that advantage and you go grab the Baron. But when you're in a situation where like you've just actually won something and there is a jungler available and like you're winning, so not taking the Baron probably means you're still in a good place, and taking it right in front of the enemy jungler with absolutely no way of stopping them from getting in, all you're doing is giving them a chance to 50-50 something that's otherwise a 60-40 if you didn't take it, right? So it's like, why give the opportunity? So I'd say that is actually a misplay, but obviously huge play by both Spurg getting in, smiting, and I think he smote at the exact same time that the Syndra damage came in. Great steal.
I wish I was quick enough to post a GIF about, Moana. Oh, smote you. You want to get smoten?
My God, look how fast this guy is! What?
I couldn't see him. He was too quick.
Yeah, I think the replay client was bugging, making him like stop a little bit. Like I don't think that even happened. Maybe it did. I don't know. This is the fastest Rammus in the West. I'm actually surprised he would go in on that gen right there. That was looking juicy. The problem is
damage onto Sandy, but they do 3 inhib. They are gonna get double.
Oh, Spurg a little bit caught, but the Rammus can't go back. Bush League is just gonna go one shot. All right, so he goes for the fight. Sandy Snake does get the ult right there. Fantastic ult there from the Kale. It's gonna be a lot of damage. Is there Aaron trying to kite this around? He's gonna be 1 versus 5. He's got nothing here. He's gonna immediately go down. Well, okay, Zeri died. That was a big mistake from Zeri. That actually might make this tough to finish. No.
I think they're fine.
Oh, Lyle goes down. No.
Lyle traded 1 for 1 there, which really wasn't a bad trade. They have supers coming into base. And
yeah, true. Pain Pecco, one man versus world right here. Pain Pecco has got 3 waves to take care of right here. Sandy looking like he's going to call for them to get off, and he does because Bush League actually spawns. They survive another day.
They live. How long do we have till Elder? Do you have a timer?
Yeah, we've got until the Elder. We got 1:50, and that's a fair bit of time for some absolute shenanigans to happen before the next fight.
What are we going to see here from Sandy as far as a completed 5th item?
My favorite Rammus quote. Yeah, same here. From the Snake Master himself. So he's going to be getting the what do they call
Shereldas
it?
Or
yeah,
something?
Shereldas. Yes.
I think that like slows.
Yeah, but it also gives you the % armor pen, which at this point of the game you want, because everyone, obviously from the Rakan, who has really enormous base armor, from the Gwen that's going to have pretty reasonable base armor, plus obviously he's building Azanya's. You're going to in the Viego with good base armor. Right.
It's so quick with the Cloud Soul and the movement speed buffs.
He is huge.
That's a lot.
And yeah, that's a thing for anyone who looks at the statistics, is obviously you've got champs that have higher base armor than magic resist. So that percentage, when you're building the percentage armor pen, it's important almost every single game, because even if we look at the Syndra here, well, she's got 97 base armor. Oh my God, look how fast this ran us in. We didn't have time to see that right now. This Spurg, yeah, Spurg's gonna live. Spurg actually lives out of that. There's gonna be 2 counter kills. So the Rammus goes in, but he goes too far. His team gets completely pincered behind him. Spurg goes over the wall. Oh,
it's gonna be an Elder flip.
Oh my God.
Pecco there stunned. If you replay that real quick, Pecco there stunned the engage and re-engage.
Yeah. What? All right.
Look at the positioning by Boobly and Lyle Walt here.
Yeah, we got Rammus here, and you would think this guy's dead. I'm curious how old Greg wasn't able to find the CC that was needed right here. Boobly, and this is a problem right here. You can't see Boobly in the back not being a part of this fight, and one auto attack would have made the difference. Now the whole team's going to go down. Boobly, by the way, still has not thrown 1 auto attack, so is not able to participate in this fight right here. And while he is able to go in, find a lot of damage onto Pain Pecco, even that wasn't enough, because so much damage came there from the Syndra and from the rest of the teammates. That was a scuffed play. And as you said, we're going to be looking for the Elder right after that. Boy.
Yeah, unless Rick gets in there and steals it, I mean, it truly is, free Elder for NR here.
It is.
Don't even try it. Yeah, and then now you just you have to stall out the Baron fights. Because, if you lose the Baron fight, if you're SOS, you are SOL.
Yeah, it's almost like a play on acronym right there. Yes, you are. Boy, this game just got really interesting. The team with 25 kills now has less gold than the team with 11 kills. How often do you see that happen? But there is a soul on that team. There's an Elder on the other team. We've got both teams with very, very powerful buffs that can make things happen, but it's going to come down to this very last fight to see what actually happens at the end of this game. We are coming up on 35 minutes with an Elder down on SOS versus NR Game 2, and surely an engage around this Baron is going to happen.
Yeah, and we see the Gwen and the Kale bot, and it looks like they're just going to match each other. We do see Syndra top.
Oh, so Tiny Rick goes in.
A Tiny Rick engage here.
Yeah, the
Down
engage
there.
is on.
See
Gold.
Nautilus walk in.
The TP's there.
Nautilus
They don't know.
engage.
Two TPs
Both
coming. Lyle Walt is on the side. And yeah, you walk away. I'm glad they saw that because that would have been a very dead team here. And yes, this is the time to start the Baron. You need at least 1-2 people here trying to stifle anyone getting in range. Everyone else has to be DPSing this Baron. You do have the Elder, so you can turn and fight. You do not have to finish this, and you certainly don't have to give an opportunity. Microscopic Rick in the front, going to get stunned right here. Sararin has committed the ultimate, so much damage, but he's going to get nearly one shot, and one is going to be down. Sararin's going to be coming down right afterwards right here. Tiny Rick is on the team, but the Elder damage will come through. Lyle Walt on the bottom, just slightly more damage, and the flash fourth shot will go down onto him. Now Spurg is trying to kill the Boobly, finds it, the Elder's gonna hit, and while Sandy Snake is gonna be trying to stop some waves here, the team still won the fight, and that's going to be a huge play right there. So let's see if Sandy Snake's able to make anything happen. Payne Pecco, this is the mid laner versus mid laner, and yeah, he's going to roast him. He's going to toast him, and that's going to be an ace there, right there from No Reply.
Oh man, from bad to worse, right? You have a chance to end the game. You get caught out under their turrets. It leads to an Elder, which leads to a Baron, which throws the gold lead. I mean, we're up to 5k now. I know it really doesn't matter that much in the late game, right? When we talk 5k, that's like what, 1.5 items. But you start seeing like a full build from Jin come through, where he's able to flash over a wall and just finish somebody off, right? He does so much damage. He's got so much. He's got what, 3k health? Looking at him.
Yeah, he's a healthy boy. Yeah, he's got
he's big, right? 300 farm. He's gonna be full build here, I think, pretty soon. He's got 4 items.
Look at the wrong champion. Where?
You know, you see Pecco full build.
Does that health, yeah, I guess that health only comes from the scaling health rune.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything else that he has that would be. Yeah, look at, yeah, he doesn't have any health rune. Although he does have Jack of all trades, which it's interesting. I don't actually think that's efficient. Someone would have to tell me if I'm wrong, but I think, well, he does. Yeah, he does. He doesn't have haste. He doesn't have AP. Obviously, those being very critical. Does not have mana, so those would be 3 very critical stats to be able to get the full advantage out of that rune. Obviously, it's an early game rune, and your goal is to get the huge advantage from those stats that are flat stats that don't scale as early as you can through components. So, not as critical at this point in the game, of course. Join Bruce Lee on malaria. I don't even know what that means, Tokuman Panda, but good to have you back. It's been a long time, my brother.
Yeah, and here we just see him kind of dancing around mid. I think if you're SOS, you kind of lost your I don't know, your flair, your riz, your confidence here on all these engages they were doing before, where it's like, hey, we're not in the lead anymore. Now what?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you can actually fight back, and that's the thing with the Gwen, is the Gwen is looking relatively good. Lots of damage coming on there, and actually the Gwen is able to deal with Tiny Rick. Obviously, Syndra, as we saw, because everyone went around that corner, Syndra can just go on the people in the back line, but we are seeing a huge engage here from Tiny Rick. Able to find Sir Aaron. He's going to go golden. Will it be enough? Lyle Walt doing a great job of keeping everyone off of his team. He's just going to use the ult, because he didn't have vision. He didn't know if he was going to get ulted by Syndra. Honestly, it's a pretty low cooldown at this point in the game. Let's see where he's at. That is going to be, yeah, it's going to be like a 60-second cooldown now at 50. Definitely worth it to make sure you don't accidentally get one shot. Tiny Rick, so fast!
Oh my gosh.
This is the fastest League of Legends champion I think I've ever seen. Oh my god, why do you even deal with that? Yeah, the flash going to come through from Payne Pecco. Doesn't even have the QE to go on that.
And what's crazy is, like, they couldn't even see, but they really didn't have the ability to follow up that quick there. Like, they probably could have killed Rick there if he actually connected.
Maybe. I don't even know. I mean, he's pretty tanky at this point, and when he drops the defensive ball curl, he's got like 400 armor at least, and probably.
Elder's gonna come up, and we still have 10 seconds on the Gwen. So if they go on it,
does have TP, but yeah, they can be melted very quickly. There's not a big return. Yeah, Spurg just not even interested Yeah, that's going to be...
looks like it's going to go down.
All right, this is big. Spurg is on the background. Is he able to find anything? They want to engage towards the bot side. They're getting flanked towards the top side. They don't know which direction to go in, but if they could pick one and just throw all the damage onto it like they just did, now Jerks is going to go down, and that's a fantastic play. You just have to pick one side and run towards it. Now the entire NR team is running away. Boy, this has been a back and forth game, and while NR is up 4K gold, they just got Elder taken from them. Interesting to watch Sandy. He's going to go collect a wave. He does have TP, so he's going to want to join this. I will note there is 1, 2, 3 inhibitors that are completely unprotected at this point. And at this point, I think you just peel the layers. You don't even try to do too much here. Just go get all the inhibs. Stay grouped as 5. You got Elder the entire time. You don't have to try too hard for this. You don't have to dive into turrets.
Don't make anything flashy. Nuts and bolts here. Nuts and bolts.
Nuts and bolts. I completely agree with that. Now these waves are going to take a while to push in. A mistake can get made here if you are not careful. While you got the inhibitors, it's gonna take some time.
Probably almost just dying there.
Yes.
From stun from Syndra, because that Syndra's full build.
Syndra is enormous.
When she hits you with that stun, if that ult follows up, that kills you. If Lyle's not there to ult you, and I like this Baron call here because all you have to do is wait. You really just wait. You wait for your double supers to get into position, and then you start the Baron, right? And, you see double supers starting bot, you see him creeping up top, mid, and you just wait for this.
Spurg taking so much damage there. The Baron's going to come up, and Spurg has to B. If they saw him going B, this could actually be very questionable. Yeah, they're going to start it. Spurg, realizing that he has to stay. Yeah, they just didn't play the timer well. You have to be there. You got to do something. All right, that's going to be a Baron right here from SOS, and while there's a little bit of damage from obviously the Jhin, it's not going to be enough. What? I can't. The camera can't even follow. Like literally.
He's top lane. He's mid lane. He's
bro,
bot lane.
The coding of this game isn't even good enough for it to smoothly have him going. Like every time he pauses, I think that's the game being bugged. I don't think it's him not inputting movement commands, which is real funny. But you've got an Elder here. I believe they still have it. It should still be up. And they've got 3 very, very large waves going to be pushing in right here. This looks like it will be end of the game if they're able to slowly take this. No one gets picked at this point. Yep, the Elder is still up. Lots of damage onto Tiny Rick, though. Jerk's doing a lot of damage, even with all the armor. He is a late-game Jhin. But all you have to do is get these minions up here. You have to slowly take these. And it looks like Sir Aaron wants to go in, but there's not enough damage. Spurg doing the best that he can. It still won't be quite enough. Bush League in the backline getting the charm. And Lyle Walt going in the middle of many people, though. But Payne Pecco with the crucial Zanyas. And he's actually able to stay alive during that. Will Payne Pecco carry this fight? Jerk's still alive on the back end. It is now a 2 versus 2. This fight is not going the way they wanted to. Jerk's flashes. It is a 1 versus 1. And now it is Jerk's against the support. But the support is able to get him in the middle of a bunch of minions. And it will be enough. And the minions, there's nobody alive. There's nobody alive, and the minions are going to win the game. Oh, that is a
what a fun game.
TCL Classic.
Honestly, man, I haven't smiled this much watching a game of League in so long.
Oh my god.
I mean, just the teeter-totter, right? Like, we get Drag Soul, we get the first Baron, we're dominating the game to, oh my god, they got Elder, oh my god, they got Baron, oh my god, if they win this fight, we lose the game, to, we have Elder, we have Baron, we're losing this team fight in their base again, to all of a sudden, old Greg throws that hook and connects with it, and
oh my god,
getting that ace.
I will say in that last fight, I thought that it was going to be carried by the Syndra, able to do so much damage. And right there, if you were watching, he went golden at the perfect time. All of the damage that was on him, including the Kale ult right as it came down, got mitigated. So that was a great play by Payne Pecco. Wasn't quite enough. And so we're going to be going into game 3, and this series, everybody, is getting really, really spicy. So please, please, please stick around. We're going to go to a quick break. We will be right back. Thank you so much for watching.
See you soon.
Well, folks, that was timed perfectly. We are back at this incredible series of No Reply versus the Snake Oil Salesman. And my God, that was a TCL instant classic. We're going to be looking at that game years to come. Some of our favorite clips will come from that game, from Lyle's incredible 5-man ult to that crazy finish. Wow, that was awesome. We're going into game 3 right here. Snake Oil Salesmen showing that, believe it or not, they actually have a pulse. They sure do. And here, along with me, is Calbert, who has gotten back from whatever he was doing. What were you doing,
Sorry,
Cal?
I was just so excited. I did a lap around my house after that last game.
Yeah, that deserved a lap for sure. One of our favorite TCL games we've seen in a long time, and we're going into game 3, and Champ Select will be coming soon. What do you think is the adaptation that needs to happen from either team to find this final win?
I think whoever shot calling for SOS just needs to speak up and be definitive, because I feel like they took care of a lot of their miscommunication, I would say, from the first game. But the second game, I would say they just wanted to close out and maybe kind of just ran it a little bit. So
there was some runnage for sure. I think Snake Oil was in such a position, and then they gave up a lot of really, really, really crucial opportunities. Luckily, the Kale came in, and Lyle, while just playing absolutely absurd in that game, obviously, we're going to call him the MVP of that game, assuming that there's a victory, but we will see what happens in this last game and if there's someone that's able to sort of come out with a stronger performance. But certainly, Lyle looked amazing in that game. And no surprise, I think it's fair to say that, yeah, when Lyle, one of the best players on the team, performs, his team's probably going to win. And when he doesn't perform, his team's probably not going to win. What's your Corgi's name, by the way?
This is Jax. He is a very dominant top laner, and he is precious. As we get here into Champ Select,
it's a good little pupito.
If you're NR here, what do you do with your ban phase? Do you change it up at all?
So, yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't think 3 bans onto Sandy is the answer in the first place. I really don't. Especially the Azir. All this tells me, like, when you ban Azir in Aurelion Sol, you're telling me you don't trust your team's ability to close out the game. That's it. Like, you're literally saying that no matter what, these guys, even if I make the right moves in the early game, are able to stall me because I don't know what to do. That being said, the Azir ban actually is lost, and they don't want to play against the Nautilus. That is
interesting. Yeah, because I guess I see that. It's a comfort pick for old Greg. He does play. Ooh, okay. First pick Zac. Spurg does like the Zac. It gives him the engage that they need.
We know that Tiny Rick, Zac is probably his best champion. So that's easy to see. The Nautilus, listen, if you're saying, listen, we're jerks, we're Bush League, and we have not beaten Boobly and I'm Old Greg, which is fairly true, right? They're not gapping them. The 2v2's not happening. Like, no one's fighting, and they're just waiting for the jungler to show up. And I know that's like a total TCL thing, but that is literally how these have gone. And so sometimes you ban something because you're like, I just want him on a different champion. But yeah, the fact that you're looking at the Nautilus and saying that's the reason we're not getting ahead bot lane, I don't know. That's tough, man.
I think it's such a value too when you're the last pick support. When they ban you out, it's such a good feeling, and I hope old Greg is I'm confident now, right? Hey, they're banning one of my champions. They need to, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, the Braum gonna go here.
We're gonna see the Kale again, and we're gonna see it picked early, which is great. And I think they're really playing on Sir Aaron's pool here because he doesn't play aggressive champions well. Right?
He's got a Darius that's pretty decent. He's got a couple things. I think we'll be surprised. There's a couple things that are
Darius has 2 buttons.
Well, that's all you need to kill a Kale before level 6.
You just run at people and hit them a whole bunch and they die.
All I want to point out is the utter disrespect from Lyle Walt picking the Kale, which obviously looks so strong, but saying, I'm going to blind this first rotation. We've not thrown a single ban on either side after top lane. You have literally every champion in the world to pick, And I don't care because I'm still going to
I was
beat
just
you.
about to say,
The
I
Jax.
would lock in Jax.
Yeah.
Jax hard counter gives him a chance to maybe get some respect back in lane. Maybe, I don't know.
He does,
gives him
but
an
how many elastic slingshots is he going to jump himself into? That's going to be the question this game. Very interesting. The Kale's blind. We're back into our second bans here.
I like to see the Zac pick though, because I think it's going to put some pressure on top, and we are going to see more mid bans come through.
I don't think he would have picked Azir because like if you're putting Boobly on Jinx every game, which by the way, like at this point I would actually ban Jinx. I'm not even kidding. Put them on different champions. Stop giving them things that are like stuff that they actually have practice on. Make them play something else. Old Greg's on Thresh. Like make Boobly play something he was not prepared to play this game. And make him play something dumb, because if he plays like Ashe because it's just something he's comfortable in, okay, you've got a Braum already, right? Like that's kind of a huge counter here. The Azir, I just look at that because I'm like, okay, if you are picking your top side as Kale, Zac, Azir, like you know what I mean? Like that's gonna be like you will not exist in the video game, especially when there's a Bel'Veth, a Jax, and then whatever you want to put in the mid lane. Yeah, gonna get the Samira pick. Interestingly though, that's a tough team to pick it into because Thresh, Flay, obviously like the entire existence of Tiny Rick, Kale ult, those are really good things into Samira, but at the same time, Jerks is like, I'm just better, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I'm curious what we're gonna see here out of Sandy.
Okay, well the Ashe still gets picked even with the Jinx up. Yeah,
I like the Ashe pick. I think it's good.
I don't, because I don't know. It could be they have to win the lane, and obviously, if you knew you could win the lane, maybe. But the thing about the Jack or the Ashe pick is that you have both Samira and Braum, two champs that can invalidate your ult completely. So, Sandy Snake will get the Tristana. I think it's actually a pretty good pick here. He is blinding it.
I don't like that.
The Syndra's banned. The Syndra obviously is a huge counter against the Tristana. The Syndra is banned, and it's funny because it was actually banned here by Snake Oil Salesmen.
The Sylas pick, you're not picking for lane here. You're picking for late game, right? Like Tristana wins this.
Yeah.
Pretty hard, right? Like any melee matchup with Tristana is just tough, right?
It is. It is. Yeah, I think Snake Oil. I'm giving this one to Snake Oil. I'm actually going to give that as my prediction. I think the Tristana mid is really good. I think that the Sylas will not be able to do what he wants, especially against the Tristana. Maybe other range matchups, but I don't think that is going to be one of them. Yeah.
Did we do the gamble prediction?
I did the old one. Let me do the new one. Sorry.
Got it.
So, who takes the series? SOS versus NR. All right, the good people of TCL. The Gamba is live. Get those last bets in, and we will get it done at the end of the game here. We're going to be going into the spectator delay. By the way, for some reason, the spectator delay, it actually is only 2 minutes and 30 seconds now. They changed it. I know that it says it's not, but you'll notice that it will start loading in the moment this thing hits 30 seconds. So, fun fact.
Right.
There's all these little mini changes. I always wonder who's like, for anyone who's a programmer here, like who's reading over the pull requests at Riot, because all these random things that get changed, or like when you go in and like the mastery filter doesn't work in the champ select anymore. I'm like, how does this just happen? Like every time something breaks in the client, just some undocumented change. But anyway, we're going to be going to game 3. I'm already losing my voice because that was a crazy game 2. Definitely one of the best that we've seen here in TCL. And the Kale, Kale's going to look good. I really like the Kale, and I almost really want late game to see the Tristana jump into 5 people, get Kale ulted, and just do Tristana things. That would be really fun to watch. You could do that.
I haven't seen Sandy on Tristana, so I really don't know how to react against it. I really don't.
He's been playing it a ton.
I don't like the Sylas pick though. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like that's not gonna be fun for him in lane. And I feel like the roams that he's gonna get, I mean, he's got to make something happen bot lane to really make that work, right?
Yeah, if it's
Like, that's
me,
a focus.
if it's me, I think there's a control mage you want to pick here. I would say you have a lot of options. Like if you want to get really spicy, you could play like a Nivea. If you are a good Nivea player, you can totally roast and toast the Tristana because when she jumps in, if you can time it correctly, you're just able to stun her during that jump. Of course, Syndra's good, but that's obviously it was not available because of the ban there. But there's a few other control mages that have the ability to sort of keep people off of them. That would be things I'd like to see here instead of the Silas, but who knows? I mean, Pain Pecco, solid player. He showed that he's skilled. He's played really, really well against all the mids in this pool here. He doesn't feed. He doesn't really get caught out. So let's let him prove us wrong. With the only final caveat being that, like, okay, Kayle ult's obviously really good. Assault could start a fight. That's kind of it, though.
That ult disrupts things, but you really, I mean, what are you gonna do? Use that in the backline?
Yeah, it's the problem. The problem with that though is that Zac ult works because Zac's a tank, right? Silas, at least the way that he's built currently, where he's built, yeah. So the thing just went through. By the way, 25 seconds. There we go. But yeah, modern day Silas, like if you're standing in the middle of the fight, you're just gonna die. It's really not that simple. So I'm curious, but again, listen, it is 1-1. We are giving our friends and no reply with this Silas a chance to tell us we're wrong. We're gonna be loading in a game right here, and everybody, this is it. This is game 3 right here, and certainly we are very happy that this has gone to game 3 and we've gotten such a spicy game. Thanks to everyone who has tuned in and been a part of this. Our 40 viewers, we've had great viewership this year, and thank you for tuning in tonight and being a part of what I would say is a classic series that. We're going to have some clips that live on for a long time
so
from
did
the series.
SOS here get blue side the whole time? And it looks
Yes.
like we're actually going to see a double 5-stack.
Double 5-stack.
And they will get spotted if they do commit to the full invade here.
Yeah,
good work by Sandy. Sandy's going to be able to sniff them out if they do go in.
And this is the vision looking from red side here. And they're going to go around, but yes, they're going to see this coming. I think we're going to see a fight here.
And we are seeing a back from Kayle. And that's part of the problem. They're just going to disengage, I feel like. They see the ward.
Yeah, there's some. They're staying. All right, the Kayle is going back up. I don't think anyone has seen it. Yep. Here's the vision. They're going to be able to go on them. The damage is there. Bush League taking it up on the front. Is able to get the flash out. So much damage from the Samira onto people. The Zelda Vision is going to be the thing that goes first, though. First blood goes on to the Kayle. It's a huge person to get first blood on. And Lyle Walt gets 2 over the wall here. Pain Pecco getting gone on. Is going to be able to find Sandy. Find Sandy for the 1-for-1 trade. Lyle Walt, the Kayle has a triple kill. This is already game over. Microscopic Rick. One more will take him. Will he find it?
Wow. From bad to worse. They did get Zac there, but Zac's passive popped and nobody finished him, so he was able just to come right back up. Look at Kayle. Kayle starting with boots of swiftness. Is that what those are called?
Yeah, I'm curious. That I don't know enough to say whether that was the right move. I know that oftentimes you do rush it. I'm supposing it probably just helps you through those first early levels not to get run down. But yeah, folks, we've got a Kayle who is now 3-0 and is already over 1,000 gold in front of the Jacks right there. So that's terrifying. This is guys. This is a classic TCL series. I'm so happy I got to be. Frankly, I'm happy that while Toasty and Steve were not able to show up tonight, I'm kind of glad they didn't, because being able to be a part of this cast is definitely a moment to remember. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to attend this game either. So I'm actually glad they didn't show up too, because I'm enjoying watching this. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
And we did see 2 kills go onto the Ashe, which I don't think she got to back, did she?
She didn't. Spurg right here, trying to look for Lyle Wall. This is a good time to do it. This is a great time to do it before any of that makes a difference. He has so much movement speed, remember that, but will it make a difference because there is no flash? He's going to try to find Sir Aaron. One more, but Sir Aaron times the flash out, and that's a shutdown. Because he had 3 kills, Spurg is starting this game on a shutdown.
Yep, and we're going to see Tiny Rick going into Spurg's jungle, which is good to see that that's happening. Now, I do want to point out, too, that Spurg is level 3 ganked every single game this series, and Lyle got caught almost every time.
Yeah, well, and the fact that Lyle was pushing that in and got the wave in such a bad state, boy, that's... out of curiosity, okay, yeah, so... for the person in chat who asked about the control of blue side, red side, hold on, we got a fight right here. Pain Pecco goes in on this, doesn't realize that the Thresh is behind him. Sandy Snake just going to get a bunch of damage, and
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, the way the rules work is that the home team gets side selection game 1, the away team gets side selection game 2, and game 3, the home team gets side selection once again. So games 1 and 3... Oh, we have a fight right here before we finish that up. Spurg getting caught a little bit onto this, or rather, I should say Old Greg does. Spurg has a lot of damage in. Team is going to show up. They're going to find Old Greg right here. A little bit of damage. Sandy Snake in a little bit too far. Tiny Rick still does not, by the way, have that cell division, so he's going to go down right away. Very aggressive play here from No Reply from all 4 team members getting together, and suddenly the Kale ain't looking so big.
Yeah, and that Belveth is getting bigger, and it's scary when you have a big Belveth because she's just innately tanky, and she's able to clear fast and just be wherever and make these plays. So
yeah, I gotta tell you, it's looking good. But yeah, just to finish that in chat, it was No Reply that selected red side intentionally after or during game 2, so that is why we've had the same teams on red and blue between every game.
It's also important to note that Samira picked up 2 kills as well, so it kind of evens out the gold in bot lane as well. So you know you're not going to see Ashe bullying him that much anymore, just as far as like not being able to engage or play that.
By the way, we'll note right here we're seeing that the Belvath actually has the most gold in the game.
Wow.
This is a large Belvath, and Sararin obviously doing what he can. Before the scale gets huge to try to bully her out and maybe slow down some of the scaling here, which he kind of has to do. So this is a spicy game, and I really don't know what's going to happen at this point. If you had told me that a couple minutes later we would be wondering if 3-0 Kale was going to carry the game, I'd say no, it's game over. But, well...
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing Spurg MVPs in the chat. I think he's he played game 1 on Belveth really well, and he's playing this game very well. He's got a gold lead. Let's see what he could do with it.
Yeah, this will be his game to control. There's no question about that. He is in the position. Obviously, bot lane's in a good position, but obviously the Ashe is pretty big too. And the Ashe obviously is going to be able to prevent people from engaging onto her at this point. It's going to come down to Spurg at this point and how he controls this game and how he, especially topside. Right here, the Elastic Slingshot is going to come down, and they do find the stun right here onto Sararin. Is Spurg going to be able to show up? It looks like he's just going to stay on the Grebuli. All right, so the Kale's back in action. It's going to be 4-0.
This is the 3rd time in this series, so in all 3 games where Spurg has gotten the first objective unanswered.
Yeah.
Now, last
well,
game
I would, for the record, I would call that answered because the opposing jungler was able to get an uncontested gank going. Spurg is in 1 versus 2, doing so much damage. The flash here, Tiny Rick picking up all of the blobs though. Pain Pecco, yeah, in Buster shots the Lyle Walt out of there, and everyone's gonna run away. Wow, I will say Tiny Rick lived for a very long time right there.
I do want to point out too that Spurg's looking for a re-engage here. It looks like nope, just getting some wards.
I would like to note Cell Division was up there, by the way.
Was it? Okay.
Old Greg, he's going to come in on this. Sandy Snake does not know how to use the Lantern, but it really doesn't matter. Sandy Snake getting a lot of damage onto him, though. Pain Pecco exhausted. If he has one more cooldown come up, it is going to be able to get the kill, but it just isn't enough. There was a huge exhaust from I'm Old Greg and a great hook from Thresh player. I believe this is his first time on Thresh.
I'm Old Greg is clean.
Yeah, he's looking like young Greg right here.
That is true. We see Ashe just unpunished too. Like, how long was Old Greg a part of that?
I don't know, but yeah, the fact that you got a very sizable farm lead here from the Ashe over the Samira. Meanwhile, Greg was mid lane. They had the. Is he hacking?
No, that's your typical I'm backing spot. That's
yeah, fair. That was wow. That was all right. Well, Jerks Jerks just has the knowledge, I guess. I mean, we call that
Built different.
in every other game we call that pre-firing, but you know, whatever. I'm just kidding. That was
On the
very
wall
very
hack,
intelligent.
if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that was a very intelligent play from Jerks right there. Meanwhile, Spurg taking the second objective uncontested.
Double neutrals. Yep.
Yeah, Zach was in base, and
And I think it's important to note too that the Spurg shutdown did go to Tristana, and it looks like Tristana is trying to catch back up and farm. Farm really is just about even when we factor in the sizable lead that.
oh, we have a fight pipeline. The ult's going to come down from Sir Aaron. We still have an ult from the Kale. The ult's going to be here. Is it going to be enough? And the flash will happen, and both top laners will go their separate ways. Both have TPs, so I think they're going to be right back fighting in just a few seconds.
Yeah, and Lyle does have a flash advantage too, which is important to note. So Sir Aaron having to flash out there, not ideal for him.
Good look, by the way, from Lyle, knowing how much damage the Jax could do and knowing that he just did not have to hit that ult until the moment that the Jax ran in. So really, really good look from Lyle Walt, knowing both his champion and the opponent's champion right there.
Yeah, and, you know, Sir Aaron, 0-2 and 3. He's building a combination of defensive items and offensive items. I would have liked to see a Sheen on him, but he is going to finish those Merc Treads, help mitigate some of that damage.
Yeah. No, he is. And unfortunately, as the scale... Oh, that's a lot of damage right here onto Pain Pecco. Sandy trying to get the damage back onto him, but good trade right there. Yeah, that Silas does a lot of damage. Oof.
That Silas does do a lot of damage, and I guess he didn't have his ult to take Buster Shot. I know that he used it previously, but if he had that, probably would have killed him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe his ult... Yeah, it does. It does scale off AP plus anything with an AD ratio automatically gets an AP ratio, so he might actually double up on it. That I'm not sure what happens if there's an AP and an AD ratio, but I do believe that Buster Shot... no, Buster Shot is actually just AP, and it's 100% AP. So yes, that is actually a very strong for the Silas here. You're right.
Yep. Yeah, pretty good at Tristana if you've ever seen it.
Lyle Walt is maxing E for Tolson, who asked in chat. Are we expecting him to max Q in this matchup? I'm not sure. Oh, we got... Alright, he's going to be able to get a lot of damage. As the Nashor's comes out, the scale is going to turn on. While he's not quite there... Oh god. So many buttons. Right here, Buster Shot will come down to get Pain Pecco, but the jump is just a little bit too much. Spurg takes a lot, but there will be a counter. A fantastic Ash ult coming in, and he will be stun locked forever. But there's no damage. Right. Without Boobly actually there, there's no one to follow up on that. Because you got a Thresh, you got a Zac, and you got a Scale, or a Kale who's scaling top lane. You always max Q now on Kale. That is fundamentally not true. Look at any site right now, you will find that everyone is currently maxing E. Tolson, for the first time in your life, as the Stanford dropout, you are wrong, my friend. Anyway, right here, the Grubuli are started. Old Greg, Lyle Walt, both joining.
Spurg's gonna get off of it too. I don't know if he just doesn't have vision and he's not confident in it, but nobody else is really in position to help him out. And Old Greg roamed up, and we see it looks like Sandy's bot and Boobly's mid. They're going to switch here and head back. But Boobly's still with a pretty good CS lead. Sandy pretty even with the Silas.
Well, I will say the surprise here. Oh, we've got Microscopic Rick. Yeah, no, Surin knows that this isn't the play here. Honestly, the only person who's not looking good is the Tristana. I'm very surprised there. I thought Tristana would have a good opportunity at a lane if spaced correctly against this melee. I guess the ganks and all the attention just were too much here. But yeah, he's down a fair bit of CS right here on the Silas. Not exactly what you want from a champ that really does excel in the early game and falls off in the mid game. Bush League going to go on Old Greg. They're going to be able to find the stun here. Spurg is in on it. There is going to be an Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It will not do anything really to help. Spurg's going to pick up whatever the Void Coral is, and yeah, it's going to be a tower right here.
Yeah, and good engage by them. Good Braum ults. It leads to first turret, gives them drag positioning and vision control over that. So really just a good play. Would have liked to see SOS be a little bit more cautious around there, because you kind of got to know something's coming when drag's about to spawn, right?
Yeah. 100%. All right, Payne Pecco. Yeah, that's the W max right there with the Sheen. It's just going to do a whole lot of damage. Spurg now taking the jungle. Sandy Snake in a position where he just can't really do anything right now.
Yeah, I figured this lane would have been pretty lopsided for Tristana, and it just doesn't seem like that's how it's playing out.
Oh, I'm old Greg is going to be face checking into 3 people right here. He's just going to get 1 shot. Not able to even proc the aftershock because he just got stun locked so hard.
And it's tough when you try to get vision and you can't as a support player, right? When you just get killed over and over trying to, trying to get that vision for your team or moving to a neutral objective, and it just secures that neutral for the other team. So super unfortunate there for him.
100%. 100%.
We are going to see Drake 2 going down here. It looks like Lyle's getting some good pressure up top. He's still 4-1. He's farming well. That's kind of what you put your eggs in the basket of, right? Is the Kale again, and it seems like he's in a good position to carry that basket.
He is 4-1 here. He's gonna have to start pulling ahead at some point. The Jack's obviously also quite a great late scaling option for him. Unfortunately, he's going to be a whole lot of gold behind the Kale, and he never really got a chance to play this game. And right here, it looks like SOS going to be taking this first Herald. Going to be really, really big for them, especially now that they're down a fair bit of gold, just because of what's happened. I think primarily that difference is going to be seen. Yeah, it's going to be seen in the mid lane, a fair bit in the bot lane, and very, very much in the jungle right here.
Yeah, Spurg's looking big. Spurg's making a pretty good lead for himself, and securing 2 dragons early. It's a really good position to put your team in.
Yeah, no, 100%. It absolutely is. Spurg, after being called out whether or not he's the best jungle in TCL, certainly wanted to show up and make a performance for himself, and he's been very, very useful in this Bel'Veth. But the engage will come, a big flay, a huge enchanted crystal arrow, and tons of damage from Microscopic Rick. Everything's hitting, but the damage really isn't, and there's going to be a counter engage right here. Payne Pecco in, lots going in, both on the Thresh. Zach going to get taken down. The engage is great, but there's no juice, there's no sauce, and it's just not going to be quite enough when all you have is an Ashe and a Tristana who's behind. There's no actual damage here. The counter engage will happen. 1 turret's going to go down, and they're going to start moving up towards top lane, and now Kale's going to have to give up some priority in a lane that she really looks for that priority. So
yeah, that Tristol right there really threw that team fight. Sandy didn't have the damage to finish Spurg, and Spurg was able to ride that buster shot out of turret aggro and basically just flash away and get out scot-free.
100%. 100%.
It's tough because it's like, you pick up Spurg there. Do they have the damage to turn that fight? Probably not. I mean, Silas was coming in pretty hot, but you lose your fed Bel'Veth in the beginning of that fight, then I think you just turn tail and run. So, unfortunate turn of events there for SOS, and ours positioning themselves to be in a really good spot to take a commanding lead.
100%. 100%. Absolutely.
We are going to see a mid and bot switch, so we see Silas bot, Tristana bot, and we are going to see the Thresh and Ashe mid, which it really puts that Ashe in a vulnerable state. She does have flash, she does have the the Thresh being able to lantern, but still available for the ganks for Spurg to run him down.
Payne Pecco right here. Yeah, he sniffs something. Tristana right here is really far behind in terms of item spikes. Someone who claims to be smart can say whether or not Dirk first makes sense. I don't think so. I don't know if he thought he was playing a different champion, because he is looking like he's building into the Kraken Slayer right here. That's going to be the assumption whenever you see that Hearthbound Axe early on from an ADC. So I don't know if that's true, and again, someone can...
I was thinking Collector, but... Yeah,
it could be, but if you're going to build it, you got to build it. Getting one component of each, you're going to be really weak at a time where...
You're going to be farther behind for a while than you wanted to be.
Right, Tristana is a very strong champion at the beginning of the game, and is a very strong champion at the very end of the game. But in the middle of the game, really, really falls off in what we would call like a power trough right here. We got the fight top lane. Are they going to be looking to go towards their deaths? Lyle Walt going really far on it, not seeing Spurg, but knows something a little fishy is happening right here. Is going to have the ult to help himself if need be. Tiny Rick is looking for something. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow barely misses. Spurg able to get out of dodge with that. and no one's going to go down.
Well, we are going to see Herald get popped from Tiny Rick, and it looks like they're going to go for top turret here. They should just get it off of the Shelly charge. Spurg's going to get seen here by Rick, and it looks like they're just going to settle for that turret and back off.
100%. All right. Well, hey, we take that. We take that. Good play from Wild Walt, the awareness to understand both that obviously Spurg was coming, but then knowing what his limits were and staying in, to continue participating in that fight. And at the end of the day, they are going to get one charge with that Herald. They're going to crack top lane, and then they're going to send everyone bot lane to start looking for this dragon that's going to be popping up here in a few seconds.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to ask about the dragon timer. Good positioning on them, getting vision control, saying, hey, we need this, right? This is soul point. Wild's at a place where he can really contribute to fights. He's almost got a second item. And Sir Aaron is late to the party. He does have TP up. He does have the ability to TP in. He needs to do it now.
He is. It is there. Jungler's going to be there. This is going to be a spicy fight. Bramall, Jax is looking for a backline member. Does find it. Going to go on the Kale. Kale's taking a lot of damage. The ult will come down. Sir Aaron is going to flash back out of the fight. So much damage on the Bush League right here. Oh, but Jerks is in the middle of everybody. Beautiful buster shot right there from Sandy Snake. Sandy Snake saves the fight with that buster shot. And right now, Pain Pekka with the stolen Kale ult in the middle of everybody, but it's not going to be quite enough. A big, huge play, team fight, amazing here by Sandy Snake and co. Sandy Snake absolutely saves the play and maybe the game with that buster shot, getting Jerks out of the play. They're going to win that fight, take the dragon.
Yeah, it's always scary when Samira starts to ult, and then you start doing a tab of what CC you have up left on your team. And
yes.
It was awesome to see Sandy Snake just say, I got this, don't worry about it. Like, I'll launch her back into the...
Yeah, it's like with the cast time, with the travel time, it's almost like the moment that he just knew. He knew what she was going to do the moment he pressed it. And it's funny, because I knew if I was on the Tristana, like, I would have accidentally done it when she used her W, because I thought it was the ult, like one of those types of things.
Right? You would have launched her into your team, and then she ults, and then she kills
either that, or I just would have buster shotted right into the win wall. But no, Sandy, highly confident. And that's what you get, even when he's behind, even when he's not in a good place. Again, he's still a Masters Peak mid laner. He still knows what he's doing. Really good.
We do see the Kraken come in. We see a Zeal. I don't know if that's a dead Dirk or what. Not really sure what that's for. Maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he's like, well, Silas only, you only need 10 armor.
Oh, right here, Lyle Walt getting gone on. The CC here is going to have to be hit right here. Jerks is actually not long enough range. All right, they do find the stun right here, but right here, Pain Pekka is under tower. He's taking some turret shots. Actually, Bush League was taking for him. That was really important from Bush right there. Is there going to be a counter engage? I don't think it's justified. Good look, shutting the scale down.
And Smerg's pushing up that mid wave. It looks like he's going to get that mid. Another kind of macro mistake here from SOS. Just no one.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the little minions.
Minions?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of damage. We do see Sir Aaron come in with the rotate. It looks like they are going to push this. Now they might be kind of caught out here. Microscopic Rick.
Sandy behind. Sir Aaron looking like... Alright, so the Counter-Strike's going to hit, but he's in the middle of a bunch of people. I think they're just going to go for him. Right now, Pain Pekko. Oh, that's a big buster shot. That was a great stretching strike from Tiny Rick into the buster shot, knocking them both into the tower. And they are going to trade 1-for-1. But Pain Pekko dying over the support dying, probably a little bit more impactful here, and this actually might lead to
and you have
turret.
You have 3 carries with a Zac. I mean, there's a Baron threat, right? Like, when you lose a fight like that, when you lose somebody important on your team, there's a really big Baron threat.
There is. There's a really, really strong Baron threat. They decide not to take it. They want to go for that turret. The gold is just sort of evening out. Obviously, Spurg still so far ahead of the enemy jungler. I will say, though, can the gold difference be felt?
Honestly, if we go to who has gold on what, I feel like, jungle, there's a big gold gap. Does it matter for Zac? Not
That's
really,
what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
He just launches himself in there, so, like, who cares?
Right. He can still do what he wants.
Well, he's going to blow one person up. That's going to happen regardless, right? But I feel like Sandy's making a lot of good plays right now.
Yeah, he's looking good. Obviously, show all chat. They're just talking crap about Cal. And then old Greg says, let's end this senseless fighting. But my guess is that that parlay will not be taken by the enemy team here. Not quite a white flag. Just a peace negotiation, and I don't think that's going to happen in this particular matchup in Game 3.
I wouldn't want it to end if I was SOS. I think the fights are going in their favor more and more as this game goes on.
Well, it's got to keep, right? Because like eventually the Silas, who with this modern day Silas build is not a hard scaler. The Rod of Ages Conqueror Silas build is. This Silas build is not. This is a blow people up early in the game, but the fight's going to go on. Tiny Rick is wanting a lot here, but does he have a team to back him up? That is the usual question. Bush League is able to get out and to proc the shield, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does a lot. Now, Jerks uses the ult, but Microscopic Rick gets a kill ult at the end there, and the ult will do nothing. The kill ult so powerful right here. Pain Pekko end up having to use a Tristana ult just to push his enemy away, and this is a Baron angle. There's no
they're
jungler.
going to migrate towards Baron, and
yes.
I think it's a really good angle. You see Samira coming in, Aaron's down bot, and I think honestly the play is just to give.
Yeah.
Aaron is going to TP.
This is the right move. I don't believe Sandy should be 1v1ing this. Sir Aaron is going to go through. If Sandy's able to jump out, he will survive here. The exhaust does go down. Sir Aaron in the middle of a bunch of people. He is going to go down from here. The Cell Division should still be here. Yep, Cell Division is there. Jerk's running out. 1 versus 5. And yeah, the Baron. Go back to Baron. Right? Turn back to Baron. You have to do it here. You've got the Ashe. The Kale can come back and join you. You want to start this. Sandy Snake. Now, Sandy does have to be careful. Baron does a lot of damage these days. All right, Sandy will barely survive that.
Yeah, they need Lyle on this to get it down.
All right.
And it looks like they might 50-50 it.
Yeah, you finished it. Yeah, Spurg's in. He's able to get there. All right, so Tiny Rick does find a lot of damage on the Bush League. Damage will come down. Old Greg getting hit by Spurg. Not quite enough. Jerks has everything. He uses the ult, but yeah, it's not going to be quite enough. Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow on to Spurg. Great play. Gonna get knocked up, and this might be SOS trying to push towards their victory in their first potential series win.
I love the Baron commitment there, where they're just like, hey, no, we're doing this. I would have liked to see Lyle come back a little bit sooner.
Yes, I think that was the one mistake, yes.
Spurt had a chance to steal that, I think. But
he got in just within range, so that tells me that if a Kale was auto-attacking for like even a couple seconds, that would have made the difference.
Yeah. Absolutely, but it worked out in their favor, right? They ended up getting a couple kills off of it. They got Baron, they got their second dragon. So yeah, it all worked out for them, and that's good. We see the gold kind of swing back for SOS, about 2,500 gold. So.
By the way, Commissioner announcing this now because we have a potential circle of suck after this game. Depending obviously on how the rest of the season goes. One of the things is that now, because the lowest team is eliminated from playoffs, we implemented the rules. I forgot the specific tiebreaker rule here, but just to be clear, no one is going to get eliminated. If it comes down to it, no one's going to get eliminated from game time, because that's a terrible way to feel eliminated. There will be a tiebreaker that happens should the fifth and sixth place teams be tied. So, obviously these teams that have not picked up wins yet, they are the ones that are most likely to find themselves in that position. And it is certainly possible for the bottom 3 teams to be tied together here. So, would obviously love to see that happen. A tiebreaker for last place in TCL would just be fantastic.
Ooh, and we are going to see an engaged mid. We're going to see Sandy get a ton of damage down. Half healthy both of them there. Mid turret looks like it's going to go down.
Well, that's the thing. Tristana is your turret taker, and Sandy eventually did scale up after making some of those plays. He's still, obviously, he's not absolutely massive, but given, what he's able to do with this Baron buff against the towers, he doesn't have to be a huge fighter. He has to just be able to keep shooting these towers. Old Greg says, honestly, though, how awful is Cal as a person, as a caster? So, all the above. But Tiny Rick finds 2 people. The mid laner will get hit right there. Bush League, Pain Pekko, both of them going in. That's going to be a whole lot. Pain Pekko trying to get as much damage as possible, but Boobly will get hit with the Kale ult, and this is actually just going to be the end of the game. There's nothing to be done about this. Sir Aaron wanting to go in and help his team. Jerks is still up, and there could be a Samira ult to save this. Certainly, there are some lower health bars that could be impacted here, but Spurg goes in, not able to make anything happen. This is Jerks, man versus world. Sir Aaron trying to do as much as possible, but will it be enough? gonna get taken down and kited out, and SOS are going to find their first series win of TCL Season 8.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, SOS played that extremely well. You know, it's funny in chat. I see this. I've probably seen it popped up a couple times. Your peak is my playground, lil bro. Get a positive win rate before you start yapping shit can. I think that's a Sir Aaron quote. I don't think he's in here to defend himself, but man, that top gap was, I think, just way too big to not. I mean, maybe you have, you know, somebody you'd like to elect as MVP, but I think Lyle
it's
earned
Lyle.
it.
Yeah, it's Lyle.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah. Before we drag him up here, though, looking at that damage, I mean, that Kale damage was ridiculous. That Tristana damage really kind of ramped up. You know, after a shaky start to the game, Sandy played those team fights flawlessly, and I think that needs to be said. Is, you know, he played extremely well throughout, you know, the mid and late game. Boobly had some great arrows. You know, if Lyle didn't carry those last two games, I honestly think like Boobly would be in the running for, you know, for an MVP nomination. I think he played extremely well. And he was super confident. So
he was. All right, Lyle Walt, you are our MVP. You've gotten pulled into here. The Kale gameplay has been absolutely huge, and I think that you guys created a couple all-time TCL highlights in Game 2. Go back and watch the cast. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, don't look at that play where we queued into Remus and then both of our carries got one shot in half a frame.
Yeah, okay, that one was tough. The Ramus obviously was huge, but talk to us about the Kale 1v5 jumping into the enemy team. That looked really confident, and it was really confident, and you did it to him. Did you think that you were going to go in and suicide and die, just take a couple with you, or did you actually feel it was going to end that way? When you went in 1 versus 5 at Baron and hit all 5 people with the Kale ult and like.
No, I kind of just did it because I was going to get 1 kill, but then I happened to get 3 kills.
Yeah, that was huge. I think
I thought I was going to die, but I wanted to take at least 2 with me so that I could like not lose the game on the spot.
Go back and watch that. I think a lot of times in TCL what happens is like something that you thought was a cool play didn't look as cool on stream. I think this was the opposite. I think it looked really cool on stream.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. We actually replayed it back and we were like, that was an awesome play. Like you did so much damage. You had a great flash in there. My one question for you is, after game 1, did you realize like, hey, I can carry this?
So I was already gapping Sir Aaron, like, because I mean I solo killed him like 4 times before he hit level 10, but the thing was I wasn't able to carry hard enough on Volibear. So I'm like, okay, if I can't carry on Volibear, I'll just go to Premier #1 Hyperscaler top lane and ban Jax in game 2, and he'll have no counter. And then I was like, we have to pick it first 3. I have to take the Jax matchup in game 3 because if I don't, it will be banned. And I just took it, and then I luckily got 3 kills level 1, and it was kind of just.
So you were pretty confident that the Jax was going to get picked even when you blind picked it game 3.
Yes, okay. I was. If it didn't get picked, it was getting banned immediately. I was like, if he didn't pick it, he would have lost the game on the spot because he was not able to do anything to me on Gwen at all.
Well, and I gotta say, it is obviously helpful when you start the game with 3 kills. That was
I will not deny that.
There was a very, very dank invade.
I saw 2 people with 100 health, and I'm like, all right, I have to get these kills, or it's going to be really rough. So I just flashed on them.
Why did you first buy the boots? That was a question we had on stream.
So the new build on Kale is you go Fleet Footwork, Swifties, and Celerity, and it's really, really, really miserable for any melee champion to chase you.
Got it. So even if you're 3 kills ahead, buying something damaged just isn't.
It's because that as well is I can't fight him even if I have damage because of Counter-Strike. I have to just get out of Counter-Strike. Like until I was level 6, I couldn't fight him.
And that's kind of what we knew because it's like if you could keep the sort of gold generation graph even, there just was going to be a point where you got to where you needed to be, right?
Yeah, no, I was farming and I was accelerated already because I had 3 kills. And I was farming evenly with him, which is like, if you're doing that as Kale, you're winning, essentially.
100%.
So,
Yeah. What do you guys? Obviously, we've played against you. It looks like you've made definitely some changes in the comps and the way that you play. How does each position, the mid lane, the top lane, the bot lane, the jungle, sort of fit into like your overall team plan right now?
They do.
It's a great
I don't
answer.
know.
They do.
We kind of switch it up every game because I mean sometimes we have a more like carry focused ADC, like we had Zeri in game 1 or 2, I think.
2.
And then we've had game 2, and then we've had like generally we're just trying to get, if I'm on AP, Sandy is on AD, and if I'm on AD, Sandy is on AP. That's the only thing that particularly matters.
No,
that's why we just forced Sandy to pick AD champs 2 games in a row because we had
right. We figured that. And you guys, so obviously this was win 1. Obviously a very, very crucial win for you guys to find with 0-2 and with obviously the bottom team getting pushed out. What do you think is going to change between here and the rest of the season, and how are you sort of turning things around where you took 2 losses, but now hopefully you're going to find two wins after this? How's that going to happen?
Hopefully no teams decide to just not ban Kale for some reason. Surely that will definitely happen.
Yeah, I thought the bans honestly on both sides were interesting. I think the 2 triple bans I would say are borderline unjustifiable onto Sandy. I think that I was talking about this on stream, but if you're banning Azir, like if you're banning Azir, which at this point has been nerfed so hard, you're basically saying I don't trust my ability to end the game.
We were most likely not going to pick Azir anyway.
I knew you weren't.
We had already lucked. Like we decided, like at that moment, we decided, do we want Kale or do we want Azir? And we decided on a Kale.
Yeah, and I don't think that he was going to pick Aurelion Sol either for the same reason. I think putting yourself in that type of everyone has to scale position can be a little tough. They've got some aggressive people. Spurg's obviously a great jungler. The plan was great. I think every game you went in with a stronger team comp. I think the execution, obviously, game 2 suffered, but at the end of the day, what matters is winning series, not games. So
game 1, we kind of we had the lead early game every single game. It was game 1 we threw, game 2 we sort of threw Smile, and then game 3 we just kind of ended the game with no
100%. 100%. All right.
Were you guys nervous there at the end of that second game? Because it seemed like you guys were in a hurry to end, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh crap!
Obviously we were kind of panicking, but we still had the Kale, we still had the stronger late game comp. No matter how, as long as the game didn't end, we were fine because we had the late game comp and they had the early game comp. So, yeah.
No, you did good. And at the end of the day, that Kale will scale into infinity. The alts were crazy. Got to go back and watch those games. Game 2, especially that ending. I think that was a TCL instant classic ending.
We were all cheering. We were like, "Holy shit, Greg 1v3, let's fucking go!"
Well, also just
minions.
The end of the game. I don't think we have ever seen a game end in TCL where all 10 people are dead. I don't think that's ever happened. So we were pretty excited about that. Obviously, hopefully you guys were too, and you were able to take that momentum and those good feelings into game 3 and take the win there. So, all right. Well, thanks for having you. Really excited that this was obviously such a fun series to watch. So thank you guys for bringing that to us and the viewers. We had a great time, and certainly is a lot better than some of these tank snooze fests. You will be playing next week, it looks like. You'll be against Team Shai Halud. So that is who
I don't know what that is.
That's Control's team.
Okay.
We are playing them this week. You will be playing them next week. So obviously you'll be able to hopefully learn off us. But otherwise, good luck. Obviously, that's a big opponent. The following week you will be against the Yapopotami, and then we'll all be going to playoffs, and we're going to see who gets eliminated. So hopefully it's not you.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's right. All right, Lyle. Thank you so much for being on with us. Have a good night, and go rewatch some of those sweet plays.
Yeah.
See you, dude.
All right. See ya.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a lot of fun tonight. Obviously, this was a what, probably 2.5, 2:45 stream. decent length for a best of 3, but it was a fun one. It was high energy, and we love TCL here. So, Calbert, before we jump off, any final words for the folks?
Yeah, sorry to those who were offended by the shit posting and the biased cast. That's normally what you get out of me anytime that I stream TCL. Unfortunately, you were not prepared beforehand because I didn't get a chance to sign up. But, just for everyone, if you do talk massive shit before your series and you lose it, you are probably going to get flamed in chat just because it's super cringe. So, it doesn't matter who you are.
Counterpoint, though. Talking shit before a series is way cooler than talking shit afterwards.
I agree. Absolutely. I do love the shit posting and shit talking. But, you got to back it up.
Yeah, you got to back it up. Well, one team's got to win, one team's got to lose, and one team won and one team lost. So,
absolutely.
Good cast, Cal. Thanks for joining me so I didn't have to be alone.
No problem.
Folks, have a great night. We're going to be back here tomorrow, so remember, our schedule's a little bit off. We'll be back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be having the Yapopotami versus Off the Leash. And then on Thursday is what we've been rescheduled to, Team Shy Halud versus the Tasty Crab Legs. So please join us both tomorrow, Tuesday, and Thursday night. We're going to have some fantastic TCL gameplay. Once again, these are the most important games in deciding who's going to make it to playoffs, who's going to get the high seeds, and who's not going to make it. So please tune in. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.